use. Visit them at tntbuilderinc.com.
Parents, get your kids registered for Knight's Day Camp presented by Nike. Camp number 2 is July 17th this summer, and we still have a few spots left. Go online to corvallisnights.com to sign your camper up while there's still time and space. This season, the Knights and Pathway Material Handling are teaming up once again to support community outreach. For every stolen base at home this season, the Knights and Pathway will each donate $25 to CLI. And that total is double when the Knights win. Hey Knights fans, did you miss our drone show spectacular on June 20th? Well, lucky for you, we have another show later this summer. Drones take to the Goss Stadium sky once again with an awesome, inspiring light show spectacular on Saturday, June 19th. Grab your tickets now at corvallisnights.com. Hey kids, don't forget to run the bases after the game and get player autographs, courtesy of Old Spaghetti Factory. Once the game is over, access the field near the TNT Builders Party Deck down the third base line. Fans, as you make your way in the stadium, don't forget to swing by one of the many concession stands we have available for you. Just in the main gates and below the press box, we have hand-dipped ice cream ready to serve for you. Down the first baseline, we have Little King's Kitchen. Down the third baseline, we have the Block 15 Beer Garden, as well as the TNT Builders Party Deck. So swing by one of those 4 locations, pick up some food and beverage, get your seat, get settled, and get ready for some great baseball.
Hi again, everybody, from Goss Stadium at Coleman Field on the campus of Oregon State University in Corvallis, along with Brian Thomas, Everett Bartee, Garrett Dworshak, and our whole crew tonight. This is Mike Parker welcoming you to Game 2 of the 3-game West Coast League Series between the Corvallis Knights and the Springfield Drifters. And it's yours truly wishing you a happy Independence Day. Hope you're having a wonderful 4th of July holiday celebrating our nation's 250th birthday. Baseball and our country have been woven together for a long, long time. If you believe the creation myth about Abner Doubleday, then it goes all the way back to 1839 with baseball in our great United States. However long and whatever the truth about the origins and whether it was 1839 or Alexander Joy Cartwright a few years later, it is a truth that baseball, the 4th of July, our nation celebrating birthday number 250, kind of all have been in it together for a long time. And we're grateful to be here tonight on a beautiful evening in the Mid-Valley. 80 degrees today, and it's about 80 right now as we get ready for Game 2 following last night's series opener, a 3-0 Knights win. before a sellout crowd of 3,112, which were thrilled by the fireworks show after the game. Not as many people in today, but a good crowd for this Independence Day holiday. And wherever you are, we're grateful you tuned our way. Coming up next, a conversation with a guy that was a big part of the Knights' victory last night and has had an excellent summer. In fact, he's parlayed the summer into a Division I opportunity. He was originally a 10-day guy with the Corvallis Knights out of Western Oregon, and now he's on his way to the University of Portland and a Division I opportunity. I refer to Zane Garvey. After this 2-minute break, we'll hear Zane's story. It's coming up after 2 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Happy Independence Day, everybody, as we continue on the Knights pregame show. I'm honored to be joined by a future Portland Pilot. You wouldn't necessarily know it by looking at the scoreboard night tonight because it hasn't made the official entries in the Knights social media stuff, but it will after tonight. Zane Garvey, formerly of Western Oregon, now through the portal, a Portland Pilot, having a really good summer with the Knights, kind enough to take a few minutes. First of all, Zane, happy Independence Day to you, and congratulations on the D1 opportunity. So however you want to respond to that, feel free. But happy 4th. I hope it's been a fun day for you. But you've got a nice future, it looks like, at Portland. Tell me a little bit about both of those things, the 4th of July and baseball and your future in Portland.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful day out. Very happy to be here out in Goss. Beautiful stadium as always. And getting the opportunity to play baseball on the 4th is always special. America's Day. And the weather's always nice. So it's amazing to come out here and be able to play baseball.
It's about perfect today. I'm not sure I've seen a better, cleaner, brighter blue sky, no smoke, AQI low. Fans last night were into it, and you guys put on a good show. Great pitching, but some timely offense. I know it feels like all of you were all kind of waiting for the bats to get engaged on a more consistent run-producing basis. But Zane, you had a ground rule double, 1 of 2 in 1 inning, and it felt like there was some signs about the offense coming to life. Do you feel that way a little bit?
Absolutely. I mean, we show up to the yard every day, looking to get our work in, whether it's in the cages or taking BP on the field. And I think, as you said, that hasn't necessarily showed as much as we would want it to show, but we have a lot of talent here, and it's about time when it all clicks together and we start putting up some crazy numbers.
Zane Garvey, my guest. Zane, tell me a little bit about your backstory, and I asked you off the air, but you're a lifelong Oregonian, born in Tualatin, Southridge High School graduate, Tell me a little bit about baseball in your life growing up. Has it been a big part of your life from the time you can remember?
Absolutely. I got into baseball following my brother around, 2 years older than me. So when he started up with T-ball and all that, my parents just had me tag along and do as much as I could as, like, I think a 2-year-old. So ever since 2, been really following my brother around, whether it's soccer or baseball, and been a big part of my life. It's been a blast.
Coming out of Southridge, the opportunities for you to continue playing. Western Oregon was where you played and played well, had a really good year. Did you always sort of think, hey, I'm a D1 guy, I know I can go prove myself and get a D1 opportunity? Tell me a little bit about maybe the motivation up in Monmouth this past spring to get you to where you are now.
Absolutely. Going into college, I really wanted a place where I was going to be able to play, and I thought that Western was going to be that spot. And for my first 2 years, my freshman and sophomore year, I was given the opportunity to play, and I'm very grateful for that, very grateful for my time there. But as you said, I have always believed in myself and have had the thought that I can play at that next level. And so I think it was just time to try to make that jump, try to see what's out there in the portal, and I'm really glad that Portland's decided to have me on.
Tell me a little bit, Zane, if you would, about how that came about. I mean, you go in the portal, and here comes Portland. I mean, was it Coach Watt? Was it Coach Loomis, a combination thereof? Tell me how you ended up a Portland Pilot.
Yeah, so went in the portal, and it was quiet for a bit, but I think it really started when we went up to Portland that first series. And since being so close to UP, Watt came down and watched some of his guys, but also look at Ian, who, as you know, is now a pilot as well. But I think he was talking to Skip, asking about me, like saying he told me that he thought he really liked me and didn't know if I was in the portal or not. Mm-hmm. So I think it was quiet for a while, but after that, Watt reached out to me. Coach Watt reached out to me and wanted to get together, get me on campus to meet Coach Loomis as well. And then after that, it was just a bunch of paperwork to try to get me there.
Congratulations on getting through the paperwork and officially becoming a Portland Pilot. Have they talked to you about how they view you? Are you a two-way guy for them, too? I mean, you are here. You were at Western. Are you a two-way guy, you think, in the future with the Pilot?
Yeah, they've expressed their interest in me two-waying, really on the pitcher side, exploring the pitching side, I should say. Okay. And I'm open to it. I really want to play baseball for as long as I can, and I'm still young. I think I have a pretty good frame that still needs filling out, and so I'm really interested to just explore like what's going to be the thing that's going to allow me to play baseball for as long as I can.
Zane Garvey with me a little bit more ahead of this Independence Day game between the Knights and Springfield Drifters. How big is this summer then for you in terms of development and what you're working on? How's it been so far, and how do you sort of see yourself coming down the stretch this summer, I guess, in terms of how important this summer is for you?
This summer's been huge. Going into the summer, I didn't know if I was going to be in the portal or not. I didn't enter the portal until about a week after it had started. And coming into the summer as a 10-day guy, it's been huge. I don't know that I would have the opportunity to go play at Portland if it weren't for this summer and the early production. And so just getting the opportunity to play for the Knights and all of the staff and Skip and everything has been so tremendous for my development, and also being around those D1 guys. Like, I've been around college baseball for a couple years and great talent at my level, but those guys, it's just a little different, a little different how things go, how guys go about it, and sometimes it's pure like raw talent. It's even like some talent that I don't even have. So just being around it has been great.
Did you have a moment in the 10-day period where you thought, okay, I'm a 10-day guy, but the hits are coming, you're driving in runs, you're making plays? How many days into the 10-day, did you feel like, hey, I've got a chance to be a full-time guy? I
think pretty quickly in Kamloops, I had the thought, like, I mean, I know I can play at this level, but it was a matter of the fact, like, I told myself going into it I could play as good as anybody's ever played and still not expect a spot. So going into it, Skip was very transparent that even if I played, like I said, as good as I could ever play, that there could still not be a spot for me after. But I would say, to answer your question, it can't lose.
Okay, good.
So,
final thing then. That was early. We're now starting the second half. You guys get off to a 1-0 start. You know the Knights well enough to know it's all about winning here. 10 championships, that incredible 7 in a row run they had. Been out, not won it the last 2 years. And you guys have been a little up and down here in 26. But do you see signs, Zane, at all? We talked about hitting earlier, signs of it coming around. To close in this conversation, do you feel like there's an all-in attitude, like, hey, we can go win the second half and do our thing and win another championship? Do you feel like that's within the capability and you guys are all in on that?
Absolutely. I have no doubt in my mind. This is a very talented ball club that we have here, a bunch of talent up and down the lineup, and also the staff. The staff itself is so talented, and there's, in my opinion, no reason why we can't do it.
Zane, you're a big part of it. It's been fun to watch you. Congratulations taking a 10-day to full-time and to the Portland Pilots in D1. That's a great work on your part. Congratulations, Zane, and thanks for taking time. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Zane Garvey, my guest, the first pitch just around the corner. You'll see Zane out in right field tonight as the Knights and Drifters get ready for Game 2 on this beautiful Independence Day at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. The first pitch next on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Thank you. And now we're going to throw it back down to our Proventi and Brown Orthodontics Junior first pitcher, Dustin. Take it away. Play ball.
On a beautiful 78-degree Independence Day evening in Corvallis at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Along with our crew tonight, Everett Barty, Brian Thomas, Knight Uretsky, Garrett Dworshak. This is Mike Parker welcoming you back after the conversation with Zane Garvey. A really enjoyable one with a young man who has had an eventful and important summer, in that he signed a 10-day contract with the Knights coming out of Western Oregon. Was just hoping to be able to maybe stay on a little bit longer, with apologies to Jackson Brown and the finish of the load out and stay. He wanted to stay a little bit longer, and he did, and he has had such a great summer that he's parlayed a 10-day with the Knights into a Division I opportunity with the Portland Pilots. So we appreciated Zane joining us, and we're glad you've joined us on this beautiful Independence Day evening, hoping you're having a wonderful celebration of our 250th. Left on left, Neil Burtis, future Beaver, goes to work on Cooper Mullins, who swings at the first pitch, and we're underway on this 4th of July at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. The strike one pitch to Cooper, lifted foul towards Waldo Hall, also part of this great university in this land since 1907, as is this ballpark. The strike 2 pitch from Neil Burtis to Cooper. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Quick work by Neil Burtis on left-hand hitting Cooper Mullins to open this ball game and game 2 of the 3-game series, which will conclude tomorrow, late afternoon, 5:05 here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Tristan Jennings, the designated hitter, the batter. Neil Burtis to the plate. A bunt attempt is missed. Burtis early filling up the zone, 4 pitches and 4 strikes. Jennings in the 2-hole, the DH. Hunter Meyer on deck in center field, batting third. Preston Armstrong, the cleanup hitter at first base. L.J. Lehue batting fifth and catching. Zach Story hitting sixth and left. The strike 1 pitch just misses, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike to Tristan Jennings. Jacob Villapando batting seventh at third base. Carson Hansen hitting eighth and right. Kahuku Harrison batting ninth at shortstop. And Colton Perez, who was in the lineup last night as a position player, will start on the hill for the Drifters. The 1-1 pitch to Jennings misses from Neil Burtis. Ball 2, 2-1. Neil back to the plate and delivers a strike. Very quick working left-hander that pitching coach Bo Kern said he is, as most are loath to make comparisons because you don't want to put too many expectations on a young man. The 2-2 pitch is swung on and missed for strike 3. Quickly 2 down. And all I'll say is thus far the comp seems fair given the start that he's off to against the Drifters. He said that Neil Burtis reminds him a lot of former Beaver Jace Fry. And Jace ended up in the major leagues out of Oregon State. And a 4-pitch mix like Jace had. So again, is this kid Jace Fry, in a different name? We'll find out as time goes by. The first pitch to Hunter Meyer, slap foul down the right field line in the corner. No balls and 1 strike. But I know that Andrew Moore, Mitch Canham, the Beaver staff, very excited about Neil Burtis and his future in an Oregon State uniform. But like so many, they get their feet wet in their first experiences in this ballpark, playing before fans as members of the Corvallis Knights, which include Travis Bazzana and Adley Rutschman went that route. Former Knights, former Beavers, all-stars. Congratulations to Adley and Travis. The pitch on the way, swung on and fouled back, and the count quickly 0-2 to Hunter Meyer. Neil Burtis and Xavier Rios, the Knights battery. Maverick Russell at first, Ian Draper at second, Ryan Severns at short, Ethan Porter at third. With Joey Morosco in left, Max Medina, I met his father Mario tonight, Max in center, and Zane Garvey in right. The 0-2 pitch off speed and down from left-hander Neil Burtis. 1 ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on. Just getting underway in a gorgeous evening. I mean, this day nigh unto perfect. The 1-2 pitch, fastball a little low, ball 2, 2-2. I mean, I went for a little slow jog along the Willamette today in my neighborhood. The sky was as blue as ever. And I felt like, Burt Lancaster, the swimmer, look at the sky. You look at the sky. That's how it felt. It was just, you just had to stop and gaze. A slow bouncer to third, fielded by Ethan Porter. Porter's throw to first, not quite in time. Hunter Meyer beats it out. Good play by Porter. Not much of a chance really to get Hunter, who runs well, but he made it close, having to wait for the second hop and a Baltimore chopper base hit for Hunter Meyer with 2 down. And a good pitch as well, delivered by the left-hander Neil Burtis. That'll bring to the plate Preston Armstrong, the right-hand hitting first baseman. Neil from the stretch comes to the plate and misses down and in. Ball 1, 1-0. Neil Burtis will bring his talents to Oregon State in the fall. 6'2", 180-pound lefty. He comes set and comes back to the plate and misses again. Ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes. 330 down both lines at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. 365 to the power alleys. 400 feet to straightaway center in what may be the toughest ballpark in the West Coast League to hit a ball out of. The Knights have hit 1 this season at home. The 2-0 pitch low and in. Ball 3, 3-0. After a couple of strikeouts to open the inning, Neil Burtis gives up a scratch single to Hunter Meyer. And now behind to Preston Armstrong, 3 balls and no strikes with L.J. Lehue, the right-hand hitting catcher, on deck. The Knights hopeful to go to 2-0 out of the gate in the second half after winning last night 3-0. The 3-0 pitch is high and away, ball 4. Coach Kearns, in talking to me before the game about Burtis and Neil's makeup, a 4-pitch mix, Jace Fry-esque in nature. Comparisons indeed odious, but he's just trying to give a sense of what he's heard, what he's seen, and if he's anything even approximating Jace, that's a good thing. It's a little bit along the lines of the the comparisons are odious. When Ken Holtzman came up, he was left-handed. He was also Jewish, and so all the writers, everybody said, he reminds you of Koufax. Okay, Holtzman was given this. Yeah, he reminds you of Koufax a little bit. Oh, so when he didn't blaze fastballs by people or throw the 12-6 curveball that was probably Sandy's best pitch, consistently like Sandy, I guess he's no Koufax, and it always felt like he fell below expectation, so I don't want to do that to Neil Burtis. The first pitch to L.J. Lehue fouled at the plate, 2 on, 2 out, no score, top of the first. The strike one pitch is in there. Good pitch by Neil, and he jumps ahead 0-2 to Lehue. But it's not quite the same Holtzman, Koufax, Fry, Burtis, but a left-hander with a really good mix, deception, and a guy the Beavers are really excited to have coming into the program. The strike 2 pitch pulled foul by L.J. Lehue down the line. The count remains 0-2. 2 on, 2 out. Top of the first inning, just getting underway in Game 2. And again, we'll be back here tomorrow with the series finale at 5:05. We hope you'll join us as the Knights wrap up this 6-game homestand. From the stretch, Burtis back to the plate, off speed and down. Good pitch ahead of the count, 0-2 to LJ. The count goes to 1-2 to Lehue. The Drifters starting the night at 9-19 and 0-1 in the second half. LJ at the plate, 193 with a homer, 14 runs batted in, swings and fouls one straight back. The count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. LJ spent the spring as the bullpen catcher and redshirted in Houston at Rice, and looking for a lot of reps and opportunities and getting them with the Drifters to take with him back to Houston in the fall. 2 on, 2 out, top of the first. Neil Burtis from the stretch. The 1-2 pitch, a changeup, a ground ball slowly wide of third. The shortstop, Severns, steps in front of Ethan Porter, makes the play and throws across to first for the out. Severns and Ethan have a quick post-mortem after the fact. They nearly collided with each other going for the bouncer. Good play by Severns, and the inning is over. No runs, a hit, no errors, 2 left. We go to the bottom of the first inning on this 4th of July. Great to have you with us. The Drifters nothing, the Knights coming up back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Rolling with the crew, where good vibes meet good times. Retro keys, vintage vibes, unlock your next adventure. Pups got the hookup too, belly rubs included. Space to kick back, laugh out loud, and just be. Hit the pop shop for quick snacks and take in the moment, or just chill with your pup and soak up the good life. Stay original at Hotel Corvallis.
bottom of the first inning, the Drifters failed to score. And now left-hander Colton Perez completing his warm-up tosses with L.J. Lehue. Knight Uretsky, who will be on in the middle innings this evening, just informed me that a couple of days ago, L.J., who was in the portal, committed to a new team. He'll be joining Lamar. We got familiar with Beaumont, Texas, and a trip down to Lamar during the Oregon State season. I hope he enjoys it there. Good for him. Congratulations to L.J. Lehue. We had a nice time in Beaumont, Texas, playing Lamar for 3 games back in the spring. Max Medina, again, I had the pleasure of meeting his father right before the game tonight, watching the game with James Morosco, Joey's dad. Max takes the 1-0 pitch from Colton Perez up and away, ball 2. No score, bottom of the first inning. Max Medina had a good ball game last night. In fact, 2 triples, 1 triple in a week is rare. He had 2 in 1 game. He takes the 2-0 pitch, high and inside, ball 3, 3-0. As the Knights offense looking to try to find some consistency. Last night, practically a breakout game after just 1 run in the previous 2 games. A 3-0 Knights victory. The 3-0 pitch off speed from Colton Perez, high and away, ball 4. 4-pitch walk. And the batter will be Joey Morosco. So our version of the M&M boys at work here with Mario Medina in the stands alongside of Joey Morosco. So it's a nice juxtaposition. Mario here watching his son and Joey Morosco, good friends with the Knights, and one would assume that they've known each other growing up in the Bay Area. The pitch to Joey is in there for a strike from the left-hander Colton Perez. Medina getting his lead, held on by Preston Armstrong. Joey spins out of the way of a 0-1 pitch up and in. 1 ball and 1 strike. Max Medina in center field. Joey in the 2-hole in left field, the versatile one. Maverick Russell batting 3rd at first base. Ethan Porter, the cleanup hitter, at 3rd. Zane Garvey batting 5th. In right field, Ryan Severns hitting 6th at short. Colton Perez from the stretch, and he throws over to first. Max Medina scoots back. Trey Swigert batting 7th, the designated hitter. Ian Draper hitting 8th at second base. Xavier Rios batting 9th and catching. Neil Burtis has already gotten off to a nice start, putting up a 0 in the top of the first. A bunt by Morosco has a chance for a hit. Barehanded, the throw to first is not in time from Colton Perez. Beautiful bunt by Joey Morosco, and the Knights in business in the bottom of the first. 2 on, nobody out, and Maverick Russell coming up. Nice job by Joey to deaden the bunt. He was up there being asked to bunt sacrificially, it appeared, but he thought, well, as long as he's bunting, he might as well try to bunt for a hit, too, and he did it. And so the Knights with a walk and a base hit trying to get the early lead. Maverick Russell, the batter. Maverick at .273 through 10 games with 7 runs batted in. He is not bunting. The 3-hole hitter looks at a breaking ball away from Colton Perez. Ball 1, 1-0. Colton getting the start is a 2-way player for Coach Lyle and the Drifters. Big guy at 6'5", 225 out of Laverne, California. With 2 on and nobody out, a quick, almost slide step type approach to the plate, and delivers a strike to even the count to Maverick. He had 1 ball and 1 strike. Max Medina at second, Joey Morosco at first. Nobody out, no score. Under the bright sunlight of this early, beautiful Independence Day evening, left-hander Colton Perez comes set, 2 on, nobody out. The pitch to Maverick in the turf, good block by L.J. Lehue, and the count goes to 2-1. Brooke Knight goes through a series of signs in his post at third, the 18th year Knight skipper, 10-time champion. Marcus Matias coaching at first base. Max Medina at second. Joey Morosco at first. Nobody out. A good hitter's count for Maverick Russell with Ethan Porter on deck. Colton Perez to the plate, and Maverick got a little cheated 2-1. A breaking ball up and in, and he fought it off, fouling it over the upper deck beyond the Jack Riley concourse. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mac the Knight decked out in his usual gear and has a flag almost as a cape, the Stars and Stripes, as he walks through the Jack Riley concourse. Tomorrow will be Mac the Knight's birthday party, brought to you by Papa's Pizza, with free slices of pizza for the fans coming in. The runners go. The pitch is outside. The throw to third is in time. And I'm not sure, and Brooke Knight is talking to Max now about maybe a missed sign. It wasn't close. And L.J. Lehue throwing down to Jacob Villapando to get Max Medina. And Brooke now in the posture that he's in, hands on his knees, head down, I can tell is contemplating the moment and not reliving it with pleasure. And because, here's why. The pitch to Maverick Russell's outside, ball 4. So you go from bases loaded and nobody out potentially to runners at first and second and 1 out. A gigantic difference in the overall scheme of things in life. Maverick Russell at third, but Medina was caught stealing, and maybe he thought there was a hit and run on. I'm not sure. But he was thrown out easily by L.J. Lehue. Now the pitch to Porter, whacked to left field, and it falls in front of Zach Story on a hop. Rounding third, Joey Morosco, and will score. Ethan Porter, first ball swinging, an RBI base hit to left, and the Knights lead it 1-0. Maverick Russell stops at second. Good swing by Ethan Porter, who last night showed signs of kind of getting back into the swing of things. He's been in a bit of a slump of late. Last night showed signs of coming out and jumps on the first pitch here tonight against Colton Perez. And that'll bring Zane Garvey, our pregame show guest, to the plate with runners at first and second and 1 out. Colton Perez to the plate. Breaking ball misses for ball 1, 1-0. Good start for the Knights, who will wrap up this homestand tomorrow at 5:05 against Springfield, and then 3 straight games. Walker Stadium at Lentz Park, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Next weekend down at good old Springdale, eh? Yep, we'll be at Hamlin Sports Complex in Springfield, returning the 3 games down in the beautiful southern part of the Willamette Valley in Springfield next weekend. Breaking ball strike, and the count 1-1 to Zane Garvey. 2 on, 1 out, 1-0 Knight. Zane standing in at .250 with 9 runs batted in. Perez delivers, and the breaking ball misses down and away. Ball 2, 2-1. Maverick Russell at second, Ethan Porter at first, 1 out. Zane said he felt like it was in Kamloops early the first weekend after signing the 10-day contract with the Knights season open in beautiful Kamloops in late May. He gets under the 2-1 pitch and pops it up. The infield fly rule is invoked. Kahuku Harrison, the shortstop, makes the catch. 2 down. Ryan Severns will be the hitter. You signed the 10-day. You believe in yourself, and Zane said he believed in his abilities. But he felt like early, with some good ball games and productive games early in Kamloops, that he was putting himself in the conversation, that he had a shot. And not only more than a shot, he has stuck, and he's been in the lineup consistently and consistently produced, albeit a pop out here. But really happy for Zane, a good kid out of Southridge, and getting a D1 opportunity, as he explained in our pregame conversation. Ryan Severns takes a breaking ball inside from Colton Perez. The 1-0 pitch, a ground ball back up the middle into center field for a base hit. Maverick Russell will score. Ethan Porter digs for third. Ryan Severns an RBI single. The Knights lead it 2-0. The base hits by Ethan Porter and Ryan Severns take a little bit of the sting out of the caught stealing result on Max Medina. And that brings to the plate Trey Swigert, the designated hitter. Trey picked up the save last night in the Knights' 3-0 series opening win. Looking to drive in a run here with 2 on and 2 out and 2 runs in. Bottom of the first inning, 2-0 Knights. Trey Swigert is the Knights' leader in runs batted in with 13, hitting .231, and has one of the 3 home runs the Knights have struck this year, just one of them in this ballpark. And that guy is on deck, Ian Draper, who hit it. The pitch to Trey misses for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Ethan Porter at third. Ryan Severns at first. And another breaking ball up, ball 3, 3-0 to Trey Swigert. Trey likely green lighted. He looks down at Brook to make sure. But if he is, he wants to make sure it's a pitch that's right in his wheelhouse and not get cheated. 3-0. 2 runs across. The 3-0 pitch, he was green lighted, but he takes a strike and the count 3-1. Colton Perez and L.J. Lehue, the battery for the Drifters. Preston Armstrong at first, Cooper Mullins at second, Kahuku Harrison at short, Jacob Villapando at third. The 3-2 pitch, to Trey Swigert misses high. The 3-1 offering high for ball 4. There's a group of humans over to the left, and humans being what we are, and for 250 years of life as a country, we've been difficult to decipher and figure out. That's very true. There's a group of, I presume to be young U.S. citizens over there to the left, who are chanting things after different results. Knight, do you have any idea what's going on? Nor do I. They break into, it's about 6 or 7 guys. They look like maybe they play in a team. After ball 4 was thrown, I think, to Maverick Russell, was when they first engaged in this sort of in unison chant. And then when Trey Swigert drew ball 4, which draws a visit from pitching coach Dean Stiles with the bases loaded and 2 down, they went into their chant again. So the gathering tonight at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field being small enough, and the fact that Knight will be doing some middle inning work again tonight, I might wander over there and try to ascertain just what it is if they continue to engage in these chants. The bases are loaded and 2 down for Ian Draper. More power to them. I hope they're having a great time, but it is a bit mysterious, and they have drawn attention to themselves, which I know no young people are ever sort of mindful of doing. Ian Draper takes a breaking ball down and in, ball 1. Bases loaded, 2 down, 2-0 Knights, bottom of the first inning. Looking to really bust it early. The left-hander Colton Perez from the stretch delivers a slow breaking ball in there for a strike. The count 1-1 to Ian Draper, standing in at .245, a homer, 9 runs batted in. The right field scoreboard has been corrected. The smiling visage of Draper on the board in right, showing him as a University of Portland player, and he rips a base hit into left field. Ethan Porter scores. Stopping at third base is Ryan Severns. A line drive base hit for Ian Draper, and the Knights lead it 3-0. That'll bring Xavier Rios to the plate. Nice decision by Brook Knight, too, to put a stop sign up. No reason to make the final out at the plate in the inning. The Knights with a big thing going have batted around here in the bottom of the first inning. The Knights have picked up 3 runs, 4 hits. They've drawn a couple of walks. Xavier Rios hoping to keep it going. Bases loaded, 2 down, 3-0 Knights. Colton Perez to the plate, slow and in for a strike. 0-1 the count. Colton, as a pitcher, is making his 5th appearance, 4th start. He's worked 13 innings and has been effective. 0-1, an ERA of 2.08. The pitch on the way to Rios, a comebacker, fielded by Colton Perez. He underhands to first to retire the side. However, the Knights get 3 runs on 4 singles in the inning, no errors. They leave 3. So a good start for the Knights in their bid to win the series and get off to a 2-0 start. At the end of 1, the Knights 3, the Drifters 0. Back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Eugene Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
The Knights bat around and score 3. They do leave 3, so from Colton Perez's perspective, he knows that things could have been worse. But now Neil Burtis, who put up a 0 in the first, goes to work against Zach Story to lead off the second for the Drifters. Zach will be followed by Jacob Villapando and then Karsten Hansen. Zach Story out of UC Davis from Orland, California. Started 41 games and played in 47 for the Aggies this past spring. One of my favorite writers is a gentleman named Bob Dunning, who covers the Aggies. He's a great Oregon State graduate, a big fan of Beaver athletics. And when I saw Zach Story, I thought first of Ralph Story, a guy I used to watch as a kid on television. Zach takes low and in here, ball 2, 2-0 from Neil Burtis. Neil, the future Beaver, to the plate. The 2-0 pitch, a chopper to third. Ethan Porter backs up, plays the good hop, and throws over to get Zach Story for the out to open the top of the second with the Knights leading 3-0. But I reached out to Bob about the note that I saw, both via my own research and Knight Uretsky's game notes on Drifters players, and saw that I thought that Bob might have a connection to the aforementioned Bill Story. Bill Story played basketball for UC Davis. And Bob Dunning was a wealth of information on Zach Story. The strike one pitch to Jacob Villapando, swung on and missed, and the count 0-2. Bob said he was an undergraduate at Davis when his grandfather, Zach's grandfather, Bill Story, led the Aggies to the Far Western Conference Basketball Championship in Wilt Chamberlain's year, 66-67, under Joe Carlson, who had played at Ohio State. So I thank Bob Dunning for that intel. The pitch on the way to Villapando popped up right behind second base. Knight shortstop Ryan Severns puts it away. Neil Burtis gets 2 quick outs in the top of the second inning. And Karsten Hansen will be the batter. So Bill Story, indeed, an excellent basketball player in a conference championship with UC Davis. And it's really great to see that Zach is creating his own story with the Aggies, getting ready for his second year and spending the summer out of Orland, California, up here. Karsten Hansen takes low and away, ball 1. Burtis back to the plate, a bunt up along third. The Knights need to let it roll, and that's exactly what Porter does. The ball rolls foul. There was a similar kind of bunt last night that I thought the only chance under heaven the Knights had was to let it roll and hope that it might roll off a ridge and foul. Groundskeepers back in the day in the majors would tailor there have been places known as so-and-so's ridge to make sure that bunts wouldn't roll foul, so they'd create a little bit of a ridge down the third base line. And batters knew how to get the bunts down that line, and they wouldn't go over the little ridge. No ridge here. The ball does trickle foul, and the count to Hansen 1-1. Burtis delivers just inside. Not quite as egregious that as what Frankie Lane used to engage in, Frank Trader Lane, before a rule was made. The rule was created because of Frank Lane. He would move fences in and out depending on if the home team was at bat or not. The pitch on the way, foul back in the count 2-2. 2 down, nobody on, 3-0 Knights in the second. Imagine that. There was no rule. So Frank Lane, when his home team was batting, would move the fences 10 feet in. Then when the other guy was batting, it was just when the other guys were batting, he'd move them back. And since there was no rule, quickly one was created to stop that. But Frankie Lane was able to circumvent it for one season on his way up to being a pretty good Major League Baseball operator. Hansen fouls one back, 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 down, nobody on. The Knights leading 3-0 in the top of the second. Burtis misses. He doesn't want to go what happened last inning. 2 quick outs and then ball 4. A 3-2 pitch, a big hopper back at first. Maverick Russell fields and tosses to Burtis covering. And Neil does avoid having to deal with any traffic here in the second. He retires the side in order. And after 1.5 on this Independence Day ball game at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, the Knights 3 and the Drifters nothing. Back in 90, Colton Perez, good for him, still out there on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Welcome. We're looking to switch and heard about OCCU. In 20 words, what makes OCCU different?
OCCU has free interest-earning checking, high-yield savings, and a community focus.
That's only 11.
We're the credit union with duck and beaver cards.
Sounds like OCCU has a lot to offer.
OCCU has been around for 70 years. We've learned a thing or two.
Switch to OCCU. Apply online at myoccu.org or at your local branch.
Three 3-0 Knights as we go to the bottom of the second inning. Colton Perez, I give him credit. He battled through the first inning, giving up 3 runs and 4 hits, but here he is in the second, starting over, and he starts Max Medina with a breaking ball strike. The 0-1 pitch, Max appears as though he tried to bunt, takes ball 1. The Drifters dugout is saying, hey, he offered it that, but apparently, according to the home plate umpire, Michael Gray, no bunt attempt, and so the count 1-1. Michael Gray calling balls and strikes with Thomas Glynn on the base paths. Michael Gray, not the former defensive line coach for both programs in the Beaver State back when they played ball together in the same league. The pitch to Medina, a line drive. Zach Story comes in. The ball lands in front of him and then rolls beyond. Max Medina getting to third. He's being waved around third. The relay to the plate. Medina is saved. We'll see about the scoring, but Max Medina touches them all. On a line drive base hit to left that Zach Story tried to make a shoestring grab on and missed it, and the ball got beyond him quickly and rolled all the way to the base of the fence to the Honeycomb Parlor, Peoria Road Farm Market signs. And Max Medina raced around the bases, which what I believe is going to be scored as an inside the park home run. Who says this is a bad ballpark to hit home runs in? Joey Morosco, the batter, first ball swinging, doesn't get it. That's 2 this week. An inside the park home run. Maybe not as memorable as Adley Rutschman's inside the park home run against Nevada, I think, in the 2018 season to center field. The only other inside the park home run that I can now place with Medina's that I can recall in recent vintage. Medina, though, scores on the inside the Parker, the first I think I've seen with the Knights ever in this ballpark. 4-0. Joey Morosco swings at a 1-1 pitch and fouls it back. The count 1-2. Brooks Hatch has not put an error up, so he is giving Max Medina an inside the park home run. It was certainly an error in judgment on Zach Story's part. If he's got to make sure that ball stays in front, obviously. Morosco swings and it's a fly ball to shallow center. A long run for Hunter Meyer and too long. Plays it on a couple of hops, and Joey Morosco with a base hit to center field. Joey's been up twice. He's 2 for 2. And the Knights looking perhaps tonight to have the breakout game they've been looking for offensively. 4 runs and 6 hits already. Maverick Russell, the batter, with Joey Morosco at first and nobody out. But Zach came charging in on the ball. The pitch to Maverick fouled off his front foot up along first. No balls and a strike. And that's all good and well as long as he gets his body in a position that if he doesn't make the catch, he at least keeps the ball in front. But he simply came in, tried to make the catch at his shoe tops, and ran by the ball. Didn't slow it down, got no leather or anything on it. And thus the ball went all the way to the fence, and Max Medina circled the bases for an inside the park home run. 4-0 Knights. The strike one pitch from Colton Perez is high. 1-1 the count. And speaking of Adley, yes, indeed, he and Travis Bazzana joined Drew Rasmussen as members of the American League All-Star team in 2026. Unbelievable. A throw to first and back to the bag dives Joey Morosco. Adley and Travis both began their collegiate careers as Corvallis Knights. And Drew Rasmussen is an alumnus of the West Coast League before he pitched for Oregon State in 15 and threw his perfect game against Washington State in 15. Pitched for Spokane in 2014. Maverick Russell hits a fly ball to straightaway right. Karsten Hansen is there to make the catch. 1 away. And the batter will be Ethan Porter. Thus, the Knights and the West Coast League, Oregon State, beautifully represented in the Midsummer Classic coming up in Philadelphia on Tuesday, July 14th. With Travis Bazzana, unbelievable story. I'm just so happy for the kid. It's incredible. There goes Morosco, breaking ball inside, and Joey is safely in with a stolen base. And that's good news for Joey, good news for the Knights, and good news for Community Outreach, Inc., Papay Material Handling, and the Corvallis Knights combined to donate $50 to help people in need in our community through COI, Community Outreach, Inc., for every stolen base the Knights record in this 26 season. The 1-0 pitch up and in to Ethan, ball 2. Porter, first ball swinging last inning, banged a base hit to left for a run batted in. Has a chance for another RBI here, with the Knights leading 4-0 in the second. Colton from the stretch, the 6'5 lefty to the plate, bends a breaking ball in for a strike to Porter. The count 2-1. Trying to discern if there's any action in the Drifters bullpen. I don't think so. Going to third now is Joey, and he's safe in there too. Joey Morosco getting a good jump to pick up another stolen base and another $50. Quite the bonanza, and good news for Community Outreach, Inc. Back-to-back steals from Joey. The pitch missing to Ethan Porter to run the count to 3-1. Ethan with a tremendous RBI opportunity here. 4-0 Knights looking to add on. Porter hits one foul over my head, over Knight's head. Neither Knight nor I quick enough, nimble enough, athletic enough to make a play on it. Knight had the better chance but chose not to try to climb the fence and make a play, and the ball lands in Urchin Alley where the Urchins give chase. 3-2 to Ethan Porter. He swings and whacks one into left field. It'll get down for a base hit. Another RBI for Porter. Morosco trots home. Ethan 2 for 2, and the Knights are at it. They lead it 5-0. That'll bring Zane Garvey to the plate. And that will also bring Coach Lyle, the manager, the head coach, the skipper, out to the mound. I haven't seen anybody throwing. It's difficult to discern through the glasses and the bright sunshine and the fence and all of that, but I do think we will see a pitching change. There was someone indeed at the ready. Tough night for Colton Perez. And the Knights, who have been collectively slumping tonight, are collectively coming out of it. 5 runs and 7 hits, a new pitcher coming in. We'll meet him in a moment. We're in the bottom of the second, the Knights 5, the Drifters nothing. Back in 2 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Blake Stavros is the new pitcher. Competitor out of Bushnell and went to Willamette High School. Has been pitching with Bushnell since 23 and has competed each year. Eugene native. And I don't know if he might be related to Dean, but if so, it would be an uncle, I would imagine. Hope so. Dean is his uncle. Good people. I know Dean and his family, and glad to know that Blake is the nephew of Dean Stavros. Blake Stavros goes to work on Zane Garvey and misses high, ball 1. 5-0 Knights. Porter goes. The pitch to Garvey is stroked into right field. Base hit. Ethan Porter digs for third. Karsten Hansen gets the ball back in. A hit-and-run base hit for the Corvallis Knights, who are, in a sense, as we invoked the Lion King the other night, remembering who they are starting to play like the Knights teams that we have grown accustomed to. A 3-0 win last night, and the floodgates have opened here early. The Knights with 5 runs and 8 hits and have runners at the corners and 1 out for Ryan Severns, who had an RBI single last inning. The infield a double play depth for the Drifters. The breaking ball from Blake Stavros misses high and inside, ball 1. Blake making his 9th appearance this summer, 14 2/3 innings of work. First and third, 1 out, 5-0 Knights. Blake from the stretch, and the 1-0 pitch hammered to left field. Back goes Zach Story, still going back. The ball carries over his head off the top of the fence on a bounce. Ethan Porter scores. Stopping at third base is Zane Garvey. A double for Ryan Severns. The Knights lead it 6-0. Well, it's been a while. I don't know who sings that song. That seems a modern day tune, for me anyway, that's a modern day tune. Because I'm thinking today of George M. Cohan and Born on the 4th of July and Yankee Doodle Dandy. That to me isn't that old. But it's been a while. There's some sort of tune. It's been a while. Can't think of the artist. But it's been a while since we've seen anything along these lines for the Knights. And it's for the Knights and their fans on this Independence Day gathering a lot of fun to see. Less so for the Drifters and their fans. Knight will be along, I'm sure, to communicate that when he joins in the fourth. The pitch to Trey Swigert missing from Blake Stavros. The 1-0 pitch outside, ball 2. Trey drew a walk last inning. The Knights have scored 6 runs, 3 last inning, 3 so far this inning, and have runners at second and third and 1 out. 2-0 to Trey Swigert with first base open. Blake Stavros delivers. Swigert drills it to right field. It's caught by Kirsten Hansen, tagging Zane Garvey on his way to the plate and scores. Going to third base is Ryan Severns, and he's safe with a great slide. He got in under the tag. The ball beat him by plenty, but a deft slide on the part of Ryan Severns renders him safe. Not at home for the M&M boys, but safe at third. The Knights lead it 7-0. Swigert with a sacrifice fly to add to his team RBI lead. Garvey scoring without a play. Severns going to third, and the Drifters were right to give up on Garvey and make the play at third, but Severns with a great slide. 4 runs in the inning for the Knights. Ian Draper, the batter. Ian takes high and inside, ball 1, 1-0. 7 runs and 9 hits. The Knights came into the series having lost back-to-back games to the Portland Pickles, scoring 1 earned run in the last 2 games of that series. The 1-0 pitch to Ian Draper in there for a strike to even the count at 1-1. Ian with an RBI single last inning. 7-0 Knights in the bottom of the second. Stavros from the stretch delivers. Draper pounds one foul at the plate, and the count goes to 1-2. So perhaps, and there's a long way to go. The Drifters still have plenty of opportunity to do some damage of their own offensively. But it's been a long time coming for the Knights to kind of get hot together, and they have. And they hope that it's a sign of what's in store for this whole second half run. The breaking ball is strike 3 called, a slow curve from Blake Stavros to get Draper. The Knights only send 8 men to the plate here in the second inning. Max Medina got it started with a rarity and inside the park home run. The Knights go on to score 3 more thereafter, 4 in the inning on 5 hits. And at the end of 2, the Knights 7 and the Drifters nothing. Back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Are we ready, guys?
At Eugene Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
Welcome. We're looking to switch and heard about OCCU. In 20 words, what makes OCCU different?
OCCU has free interest-earning checking, high-yield savings, and a community focus.
That's only 11.
We're the credit union with duck and beaver cards.
Sounds like OCCU has a lot to offer.
OCCU has been around for 70 years. We've learned a thing or two.
Switch to OCCU. Apply online at myoccu.org or at your local branch.
Harrison.
Top of the third inning, the Knights leading 7-0. Neil Burtis, awash in prosperity, goes to work now. We'll see if he knows what to do with it. A 7-run lead comes to the plate, and the first pitch to Kahuku Harrison. Fastball high and away, ball one. It is so nice to see another Harrison making a name for himself, a great name in Oregon State history, of course. Fastball swung on and missed. The count 1-1 to Kahuku. Kahuku's older brother, KJ Harrison, played for the Beavers from 14 to 17, hit a memorable grand slam in Omaha against LSU in 2017 in a 13-1 Beaver win. The 1-1 pitch to Kahuku swung on and missed, and the count 1-2. KJ, a great Beaver. His brother Kalei at Texas A&M and North Carolina State. Kaikea, senior to be at Tulane, and of course his dad, the patriarch, a great ball player for Hawaii, 91 to 93. Kahuku swings and hits one foul into Urchin Alley. These poor urchins here on top think they have a shot, and they have no shot. They're coming from the back row, trying to run down the stairs and out into the alley, and there's already kids there. I mean, they're going to come back with the lament of the people trying to get into the pool and saying it gets stirred up and everybody always beats me into it, and that's a story for another time. But that's how I feel those urchins who just left the stands are going to feel. They're going to come back up. Stay there. Stay there. Stay. The 2-2 pitch. Fastball swung on and missed. Strike three. Kahuku Harrison strikes out, and Cooper Mullins will be the batter. Neil Burtis will face Cooper, whom he fanned on 3 pitches in the first. 7-0 Knights in the third inning. Pretty good crowd for this Independence Day. After last night, so many kind of all in every year on the big fireworks extravaganza. Last night, no exception. A sellout crowd, 3,112. And a good ball game, very competitive, and then a fun fireworks show afterwards. A big hit for everyone. The strike one pitch, Cooper swings and misses. He's seen 5 pitches, they're all strikes. 1 out, nobody on. The strike 2 pitch, a little bit high and in. Ball 1-2 to the left-hand hitting Cooper Mullins, young man out of Marist, tremendous school in Eugene, and making his mark at Michigan. The 1-2 fastball foul back. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Knights 3 runs in the first and 4 in the second. Neil Burtis, still in the sunshine, delivers into the shadows. A slider in there. Strike 3 called to get Cooper Mullins. Big time pitch. Cooper's been up twice and struck out twice. Back-to-back strikeouts in the inning for Burtis. 2 down, and Tristan Jennings, the designated hitter, who struck out in his first at-bat, coming to the plate. Neil drops the arms, kicks the leg, comes to the plate. Tristan swings and misses. No balls and 1 strike the count. Top of the third, 7-0 Knights. Burtis works the third base side of the rubber. The incoming freshman of the Beavers delivers. Fastball foul back, and the count 0-2. Baseball and the 4th of July go hand in hand, of course, for, as Roger Angel described it, the summer game in the heart of summer. The strike 2 pitch, a line drive to left center field, and coming on to make the catch, Max Medina, to retire the side. When we come back, I want to talk about baseball's grandest moment, what one writer has described as its Gettysburg moment on July 4th, 1939. Good outing for Burtis. He has upwards of 75 to 80 pitches in him tonight, according to Bo Kearns. We go to the bottom of the third, 7-0 Knights back in 90 on Joe Radio.
Rolling with the crew, where good vibes meet good times. Retro keys, vintage vibes, unlock your next adventure. Pups got the hookup too. Belly rubs included. Space to kick back, laugh out loud, and just be. Hit the pop shop for quick snacks and take in the moment. Or just chill with your pup and soak up the good life. Stay original at Hotel Corvallis.
Bottom of the third inning, 7-0 Knights. They sent 9 men to the plate in the first inning and scored 3, 8 to the plate in the second, put up 4 runs. And now to the bottom of the third, Xavier Rios will lead things off against Blake Stavros. In the first pitch, a chopper through the 6 hole into left field. Base hit, the Knights' 10th hit of this young ball game. I guess the cliche that hitting is contagious. I know the lack of it has been apparently contagious here of late too, but tonight the contagion has been caught up and down the lineup. Rios with a base hit. Draper has a base hit. Trey Swigert a sac fly. Ryan Severns is 2 for 2. Zane Garvey with a base hit. Ethan Porter 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs. Joey Morosco has 2 hits. Max Medina an inside the park home run. Productivity up and down the lineup for the Knights. They lead it 7-0 in the third. Xavier Rios, a ground single on the first pitch that he sees. And now the batter is Max Medina, who takes high and away. Swings at the 1-0 pitch, lofts a fly ball Zach Story's way. Zach makes the catch. 1 away, and Joey Morosco has a bunt single and scored, and a base hit and a couple of stolen bases and scored again, coming to the plate. Joey's heroes we've talked about is the great Jolton Joe DiMaggio, a hero to many, and there have been many Yankees who have fit that description. But maybe, just when you think about the life and manner and character of Lou Gehrig, he may be the greatest Yankee of them all, just in terms of not only his greatness as a player, the streak, but by all accounts, how kind he was and what a good man he was. In the shadow of Babe Ruth, and not as flamboyant as many others in the pinstripes. Joey Morosco takes high and inside, ball 1, 1-0. Xavier Rios at first, 1 out, bottom of the third, 7-0 Knights. The 1-0 pitch Joey takes for ball 2, 2-0. But after he had been diagnosed with what was first called infantile paralysis, taking himself out of the lineup after 2,130 games, a throw to first and Xavier Rios back. A few weeks later, on July 4th, 1939, Independence Day, one of the biggest crowds ever at Yankee Stadium came out for Lou Gehrig Day, and the famous Gehrig speech took place. The pitch on the way to Joey is high and inside, ball 3, 3-0. As speeches go, it's one of the best in American history. It really is. That's no hyperbole. Writer back east, Stephen K. Wagner, wrote an entire book on the speech entitled Bronx Epitaph. The 3-0 pitch to Morosco, high and inside, ball 4. And the chant ensues again after a walk. That is the trigger. You know, I feel like we're kind of, I've seen too many true crime stories where we're looking for, okay, what trigger? Oh, we've got it. We figured out the code. When a walk occurs, these jokers over there to the left, a bunch of young boys who are on a team, clearly, and are here watching the game. I love them. Jokers I use affectionately, you understand. chant something whenever ball 4 ensues. 3 different times, 3 walks in the game. They chant something out to the pitcher that issued the walk. They haven't done it to Neil Burtis, so whatever their incantation is, it's towards the drifters. The pitch to Maverick Russell, missing inside, ball 1. They know their audience anyway, as did Lou Gehrig, July 4th of 39. Maverick Russell sprays one foul down the left field line. I think we know the speech, luckiest man on the face of the earth, but the entire text of it, it's almost the same amount of words as the greatest speech in American history, the Gettysburg Address. Very short, but as eloquent as anything ever uttered on our land. Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address, and the Bronx epitaph, the Bronx speech by Lou, has been called baseball's Gettysburg Address. The pitch to Maverick, rip foul down the right field line in the corner, the count 1-2. 7-0 Knights, bottom of the 3rd inning, 2 on and 1 out. He goes on to say, after saying, I've luckiest man on the face of the earth, he continues, I have been in ballparks for 17 years and have never received anything but kindness and encouragement from you fans. Maverick Russell is heading down the steps into the Knights dugout after something has just happened on that swing. I don't know if he pulled a muscle, if something happened, but he has taken himself off the field and down the steps into the Knights dugout to be attended to by one of the Knights trainers and by Brooke Knight himself. So while we wait to see and hope that Maverick's going to be okay, that's a tough break. And that's the very word Lou in his speech talked about. Brooke, I think, is going to have to go to a hitter and take Maverick Russell out of the game right here, and that is the case. Maverick, with a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes, just ripped a ball foul down the right field line and took himself out of the game. And Brooke now has to not only deal with Maverick's situation and condition, but he's got to find another ball player to step in and take over the at-bat here with 2 on and 1 out, bottom of the 3rd, and the Knights leading 7-0. So as Brooke sorts that out, and we hope the best for Maverick, I will continue the text of Gehrig's speech on the 4th of July, 1939. He says, sure, I'm lucky. When the New York Giants, who they were a team you would give your right arm to beat, sends you a gift today, that's something. When everybody down to the groundskeepers and those boys in the white coats remember you with trophies, that's something. When you have a wonderful mother-in-law who takes sides with you and squabbles against her own daughter, that's something. When you have a father and mother who work all their lives so that you can have an education and build your body, it's a blessing. When you have a wife who's been a tower of strength and shown more courage than you dreamed existed, that's the finest I know. And then he closes. So I close in saying that I might have had a tough break, but I have an awful lot to live for. Now, that's Lou Gehrig, the ball player, July 4th, 1939. There's so much beauty and poignancy and tenderness and eloquence and love in that speech. It is baseball's Gettysburg Address and one of the best speeches on American soil. On this, our 250th birthday, Lou Gehrig's speech, July 4th, 1939. A 4th of July celebration, in a sense, to top all. Well, the batter taking over for the Knights and inheriting kind of a tough situation is Tate Hammond. We hope to learn more about Maverick Russell and report back tomorrow. Hammond takes over with a 1-2 count with 1 on and 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd. The Knights leading 7-0 in what has been a really upbeat and enjoyable night for the Knights. The first sort of down note, indeed it is, with Maverick Russell leaving the game. The 2-2 pitch to Tate Hammond hit foul off to the left and out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 on and 1 out. Bottom of the 3rd, 7-0 Knights. Xavier Rios at second, Joey Morosco at first, and Tate Hammond taking over the at-bat from Maverick Russell, who had to leave the game with something that was bothering him, and I don't want to speculate any further. But after a good swing, he put a good charge into the ball down the right field line, left, walked down the steps on his own accord, and I'm sure is receiving some attention now. The pitch missing to Tate Hammond. The runners go. The 3-2 pitch is inside, ball 4 to load him up. Brooke Knight having some fun tonight, certainly, with plenty of company at third. And Ross Durfelt, I need Ross to come over here, the public address announcer for the Knights. He has given way to the junior announcer who is talking. I'm going to make the call out. Ross, tell me what's going on over there. The bases are loaded with one out. Ross Durfelt has been hanging out with the boys who've been chanting out whatever they're chanting out after walks. Ross Durfelt, the public address announcer, is going to come over and inform me. In fact, let's turn on the microphone, guys, for Ross. There we go. I'm going to put you hot, Ross. I'm going to put you hot because Knight and I are, what the heck's going on? Anytime a walk is issued, an incredible eruption of noise comes from that group of boys over there. What's going on?
So it's the Wasilla Road Warriors Legion baseball team. They're here for the Mickey Riley Star Spangled Tournament that's taking place at Taylor Field at Corvallis High School this weekend. And, you know, Mike, I'm not going to lie, I'm not exactly sure what it is they're saying. Something about how many bases, free bases. They're a great group of kids. I just wanted to double check it was them before I gave them a shout out here at the game tonight. And they're just super happy to be down here and watching some baseball and getting a chance to play against kids that they normally wouldn't see, up there in Alaska. So, I love their energy. We heard them right off the bat. And it's like, anytime there's a walk, we're up there in the press box as well going, what is going on over there?
Exactly. Knight Uretsky, the voice of the Drifters here, who will be coming on in the fourth inning after this half inning. We both have noticed. It was clearly after that first walk. What?
Yeah.
What's going on? But I'm glad because that gives me a chance while Knight's on the air. I'm going to wander over there. You've identified them at least as the Wasilla Road Warriors out of Wasilla, Washington.
Alaska.
Wasilla, Alaska?
Yeah.
A fly ball to right field off the bat of Ethan Porter. Tagging up Xavier Rios comes down the line to score. 3 RBIs tonight for Ethan Porter on the sacrifice fly to right field. Rios, who led off the inning with a base hit, scores from third, and tagging up and going from second to third, Joey Morosco. Tate Hammond remains at first. 2 down in the inning, 8-0 Knights. Ethan Porter with 3 runs batted in. So Wasilla, Alaska Road Warriors here for the Mickey Riley Star Spangled Tournament.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, I'll go actually over there because I'm curious to know what they're saying as well. So I'll go find out, and I'll just come back over and let you know what it is. Absolutely.
Okay, well, ground ball to second off the bat of Zane Garvey. Get back in the booth. They're calling you. Great job,
Thanks,
Ross.
Mike.
I
really appreciate it.
Ross Durfelt, our public address announcer, is on the job. He's on the task of trying to find out, but doesn't have all the answers. I'm going to go try to find one. Garvey hits a ground ball to short. Kahaku Harrison fields and steps on the bag for a force play on Tate Hammond. The inning is over, but the Knights score again. It's mild by comparison to what they've been doing. 3 in the first, 4 in the second. They settle for 1 in the third, and at the end of 3, Knight will be along to take you through the middle innings. Through 3, the Knights 8, the Drifters nothing. Back in 90 on the live stream and Joe Radio.
At Eugene Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
Batting for the Drifters, the center fielder.
Through 3 innings, the Knights 8 runs, 10 hits, and no errors. Springfield no runs, 1 hit, and no errors. Neil Burtis on what has been a great night for the Knights, save for the somewhat disturbing side of seeing a player leave the field. Maverick Russell did. I may even try to find out more before I come back on. But I'm going to be away for a bit because it's a pleasure to welcome in the voice of the Drifters as we share the broadcast together going to the 4th. Knight Uretsky joins me. Knight, take it away. Great to be with you. I'm going to go do some more research on that chant. Good to have you here again. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mike. You go do that research. Always fun to have kids all over the country into the ballpark with us here today. The 3-0 pitch comes in for a strike, 3-1. The first 3 pitches from Burtis missed the mark, and now Hunter Meyer, the 3-hole hitter for the Springfield Drifters, faces a 3-1 count. Preston Armstrong on deck, and L.J. Lehue in the hole for Springfield. Burtis comes to the plate. It's a line drive out towards right field, and it's going to get down into the corner. Garvey chasing it in the corner. Meyer turning for 2. He's heading to 3. The relay comes in, and it's going to be late. Sliding into third safely is Hunter Meyer with his first triple of the season for Springfield. He's now 2 for 2 against Burtis, and the Drifters finally have a runner in scoring position. They're first since the first inning, and it was Hunter Meyer back in the first inning that reached second base, but not a lot of offense today for Springfield. Just the second hit overall, both of them, Hunter Meyer. He's had Burtis' number, and to be honest, this has kind of been the story of the season for Springfield so far, hitting just 192 against lefties, much better against right-handers this season, batting near 250 against the righties, but below the Mendoza line against the southpaws. Check swing, he went around. Preston Armstrong starts 0-1 against Burtis. Armstrong will walk his first time up, the Seattle University product, at the plate for the Drifters. Runner at third in an 8-0 game in the top of the 4th inning. Burtis comes set, fires a pitch. In for a strike right at the knees to Armstrong, 0-2. So the Knights winning yesterday against Springfield, 3-0. Drifters still searching for their first run of the series against Corvallis. Pitching today has given up 8 runs for Springfield. It's been a successful week on the mound for the Drifters up until today. Armstrong slaps it to right field, and now score Meyer. As the Drifters are on the board, it's 8-1 here in the top of the 4th. Back-to-back hits, a triple and a single, bringing the first run for Springfield. So it brings up L.J. Lehue, his family in attendance today, all the way from Houston, Texas. In fact, his younger brother Colt is the bat boy today for the Springfield Drifters. Had a second to talk with him before the game. He's 7 years old and one of the brightest 7-year-olds I've met. We were talking to him before the game. We said, are you a catcher as well? As now there's going to be a mound meeting. But he said, no, I'm not a catcher. I'm a shortstop. And we asked him if he was a switch hitter as well, just like L.J., and he said, yep. Even better than LJ, so a confident young folk. And he's getting the opportunity to be the bat boy today for the Springfield Drifters. We're going to have a pitching change. Neil Burtis, his day is done after 3 innings. We'll take a quick 2-minute timeout and let you know who the new pitcher is on the other half of this break here on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
That sound means it's our call to the bullpen presented by Wilson Motors. Head on over to Wilson Motors off the corner of 5th and Buchanan and grab your free general admission ticket to Wilson Motors Night on July 23rd. While you're there, check out their selection of Ford, Ram, Dodge, Jeep, and Chrysler vehicles. New pitcher for the Knights out of the University of Utah, number 37, Landon Salison.
Well, the new pitcher in the game for the Corvallis Knights is another southpaw, Landon Salveson, a left-hander from the University of Utah. His first pitch of the ball game is up and away. 1 ball and no strikes to L.J. Lehue. Top of the 4th inning, runner at first base, nobody out for the Drifters in the top of the 4th. 8-1 the score. Corvallis with the lead, 3 runs in the first, 4 in the second, and 1 in the third so far for the Knights. Salveson comes to the plate. It's a fastball high. 2 balls and no strikes to Lehue, who gets the bat from the left side of the plate as a right-handed hitter once again. The switch hitter for the Drifters, recently committed to Lamar University out in Beaumont, Texas, after spending his freshman season at Rice. Salveson's 2-0 pitch, down and away, 3-0. So as mentioned, Lehue, his family in attendance, making the trip all the way out from Houston. They're out here for 11 days. And again, his younger brother Colt, just 7 years old, the bat boy today for the Springfield Drifters. 3-0 pitch in for a strike from Salveson, 3-1. Neil Burtis, 3 innings pitch for him, 3 hits, 1 run so far responsible for the runner at first base as well. A walk and 4 strikeouts for the left-hander heading off to Oregon State next season. Lehue skies the ball out of play out towards Urchin Alley, 3-2. Gotta say, it was pretty wholesome a little bit earlier. During the 3rd inning, there were 2 kids down in Urchin Alley waiting for foul balls to head towards them, and there was a young girl that was sitting in the back row of the concourse here on the first base side as the 3-2 pitch is blooped out towards right field. Charging in and making the catch is Garvey for out number 1. So there was a young girl, I'd presume probably a sister of a younger boy that was out in Urchin Alley, and she was relaying every single pitch to presumably her brother, maybe just a friend around her age, into the alleyway. So he was waiting down for a foul ball, and all of a sudden she's given play-by-play from the concourse. Really brought me back to my youth and how I really got started into broadcasting, just relaying pitches to my dad over the phone as he commuted home 70 miles away out in California. Pitches outside, 1 ball and no strikes to Zach Story. My dad worked as a video editor down in Hollywood, California. I grew up in a small town, Fraser Park, California, about 70 miles north of downtown Los Angeles, and so I would broadcast games to him over the phone, similar to the play-by-play this young woman was given from the back row here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. 1-0 pitch in for a strike, 2 Story, 1-1. And she was given the information, runner at first base. It's a 1-0 count. Fly ball out towards right field, and out was recorded, keeping her younger friend or brother informed. Pitch misses down and away, 2 balls and no strikes to Story, who's 0 for 1 with a ground out to third. 8-1 the score, top of the 4th inning. Springfield on the board with a triple and a single to start in this inning. But a fly out to right field by L.J. Lehue put it out on the board. Story skies it out of play to the first base side once again, and the count goes even with Landon Salveson on the mound. The left-hander from Hooper, Utah, appearing for the 7th time this season, 6th time out of the bullpen. So far this season, 9 innings pitched with 13 hits, 8 runs, 4 earned runs, 13 walks and 8 strikeouts. 4.00 ERA. Story lines it out towards left center field. Into the alley is Max Medina. Squeezes the mitt for out number 2. Back to first base is Preston Armstrong. So Salveson comes into the game, gets a couple of flyouts to the outfield. 2 outs on the board for Jacob Villapando with Preston Armstrong over at first base. Again, 8-1 the score. Corvallis with the lead. Game number 2 of this 3-game series. The Knights winning the last 4 matchups against the Springfield Drifters after yesterday's 3-0 win. First pitch to Villapando. Down and away, 1-0. Pondo, his first time up, a pop-up to short. Looking for his first hit of the afternoon. The young man that is playing this summer in Springfield, looking for his next destination after 2 years at Fresno City College. Pitch down and away, gets past Rios, and advancing over to second is Armstrong. Villapando did not play this past spring. At the end of his sophomore campaign at Fresno City College, got hit by a pitch, broke his wrist, and missed all of this spring recovering and just preparing for the summer in hopes of landing a spot on a college roster by the end of the summer. Ground ball to the left side, a diving play by Severns. He fires the first, and he beats Villapando for the final out. Drifters get on the board with a triple and a single. They leave one stranded after the 2 hits in the inning. No errors defensively as we now head to the bottom of the fourth inning. 8-1 the score, the Knights with the lead here on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Rolling with the crew, where good vibes meet good times. Retro keys, vintage vibes, unlock your next adventure. Poop's got the hookup too, belly rubs included. Space to kick back, laugh out loud, and just be. Hit the pop shop for quick snacks and take in the moment, or just chill with your pup and soak up the good life. Stay original at Hotel Corvallis.
At Eugene Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
Back here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, Knight Uretzi with you for the middle innings this afternoon, as the Knights are currently leading the Springfield Drifters 8-1. Mike Parker will have you for the final three frames, innings 7, 8, and 9. First pitch from the new pitcher for the Springfield Drifters, Owen Sheen, is in for a strike. 0-1 to Ryan Severns. Severns, Trey Swagger, and Ian Draper due up for the Knights. Batter 6, 7, and 8 here in the bottom of the fourth. Drifters getting on the board in the top of the fourth inning, and now the Knights look to respond as this is lined foul by Severns, 0-2. Severns today may be the most impressive player at the plate outside of Max Medina and his inside the park home run. Severns, 2 hits, 2 RBIs, a double and a single, no runs scored. So Sheen coming into the game for Blake Stavros, the third pitcher in the ball game for the Drifters. The southpaw delivers a pitch out towards the left side as Kaku Harrison knocked it down on the ground ball hit by Severns, but he's going to end up at first base with the infield single. Third hit of the game for Severns, the shortstop from UC Santa Barbara, and it brings up Trey Swaggart. Swaggart picked up the save yesterday, a two-way player for the Knights that started the game at first base and then came into the game to close it for Corvallis. Picked up the 7th save of the season for the Knights. And now making an impact at the plate as his designated hitter today. A walk and a sacrifice fly so far for Swaggart. Pitch from Sheen, below the knees, 1 ball and no strikes. So Sheen back at Oregon State. Spent this past spring at Oregon State as a student, not a baseball player. Wrapped up 2 years at Lane Community College, decided to go the academic route. Transferred to Oregon State, was a student all year, and then decided, you know what, I kind of miss baseball. I want to get back into it as he delivers a pitch for a strike. 1-1 to Swaggart. So he got a hold of Jeff Lyle, the head coach of the Springfield Drifters, and ultimately convinced him to offer him a spot on the roster this summer as he hopes to find a destination and continue his college baseball career. Sheen delivers down and away, 2 balls and a strike to Swaggart. Final line for Blake Stavros, 1 2/3. Allowed 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, and a strikeout. 2-1 pitch to Swaggart, popped out of play, 2-2. So Mike Parker currently talking with the Wasilla Road Warriors, who are in attendance. They're at a Legion baseball tournament happening over at Taylor Field at Corvallis High School. Awesome for them to be making the trip down from Alaska and playing in a Legion tournament over this 4th of July weekend here in the state of Oregon. Throw over towards first base, and back there safely is Severns. In fact, last year on the 4th of July, I was working a job in radio down in Roseburg and was actually calling some Legion baseball. There was a Legion baseball tournament happening in the Eugene Springfield area, the Papa's Pizza Tournament, hosted by the Eugene Challengers, as Swaggart grounds it foul into the dugout of the Drifters. 2-2. That tournament took place at North Eugene High School as well as at Hamlin Sports Complex, where the Drifters play their home games. And before a Drifters game on July 4th, there was actually a team from Alaska that played a Legion game at Hamlin, and they were not the Wasilla Road Warriors, but they were the Chugiak Eagles, as the pitch is in for a strike, taken off towards second, and Severns gets there with a steal. Another steal for the Knights. Another $50 going to COI. But Severns the steal in scoring position. Swaggart down on strikes. First strikeout for Sheen. The Chugiak Eagles came to town, and they actually came to the Drifters game right afterwards. So very similar story this year with the Road Warriors in attendance with the Legion tournament happening over at Taylor Field. So runner at second, one out, 8-1 the score in the bottom of the fourth. Ian Draper takes the first pitch from Sheen for a strike, 0-1. Draper today, a single and RBI back in the first inning, a strikeout looking in the second. Knights threatening 4 more. Again, 3 runs in the first inning, 4 in the second, 1 in the third. They've scored in each inning so far. Sheen kicks and fires his 0-1 pitch below the knees, 1-1. Sheen comes in with one of the better ERAs on the team, a 1.13 ERA across 4 appearances in 8 innings. Just 1 earned run across those 8 frames, 6 strikeouts and 6 walks entering today. 1-1 delivery, low, 2-1. All of his previous 4 appearances out of the bullpen, a 1-1 record for Sheen. Pitched 3 scoreless innings of relief back on the 26th of June versus Ridgefield, and had a good outing earlier this week. 3 scoreless innings on just 20 pitches. This one bounces in. 3 balls and a strike to Draper. Young man heading off to the University of Portland in the spring. Transfer there from the University of Washington. Fouled off. He'll stay alive. So Draper going from Puyallup, Washington down to Portland next year. Go play with the Pilots. Be teammates with Trey Swagger, as well as a couple of Springfield Drifters. Nolan Miller, who got the start yesterday for Springfield as the designated hitter. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Runner at second with 1 out in the bottom of the fourth. Sheen comes set. Payoff pitch. Hit up the middle. Harrison cuts it off beyond the second base bag. His throw to first, a 1 hopper, picked by Armstrong for out number 2. It's a good defense for Springfield. And yesterday, 1 error for the Drifters. And honestly, this season, one of the better years defensively for the Drifters across their 5 years of history. Springfield comes in with the 4th best fielding percentage in the WCL and the 3rd fewest errors. That one yesterday, just the 35th of the season for the Drifters. The defense has been pretty solid this year. The pitching staff came in with the 12th highest ERA in the WCL, albeit a lot of inflated performances, such as today. First pitch, a little bit high to Rios, 1-0. Back today, 8 runs given up, the most so far this week for Springfield. Pitching staff did a good job against the Marion Berries and a sweep against Marion on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. 1-0 pitch, Rios takes above the letters, 2-0. Drifters won games against the Berries 2-1 on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then won a game on Thursday 6-5 before dropping the game yesterday to Corvallis 3-0. 2-0 pitch to Rios, grounded towards the left side. Harrison scoops the throw to first base in time for the final out. Owen Sheen puts a goose egg on the board. He allows 1 hit, no runs, no errors defensively for Springfield, and 1 left stranded at third. We're headed to the 5th. The score is 8-1. Corvallis with the lead here on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Okay, Knights. Lalo and Bridger is team 2. Over on first base dugout, we have team.
No matter what team you're on, No matter where you explore, there's a Richardson for you. We don't just give you our word. We give you our name. We started over 50 years ago as a hometown sporting goods business, with a particular devotion to America's pastime. As we grew, so did demand for our products, both on and off the field of play. Today we serve teams, brands, and businesses, and we've earned our reputation as the best. We did it through our devotion to our craft and our customers. We've built our business on the spirit of competition and the thrill of adventure, with a relentless focus on details and an enduring commitment to quality in every stitch. We've set a high bar for ourselves because you've made our team part of your team. And your team deserves the best.
Won the score. Corvallis with the lead. Knight Uretsky in for Mike Parker for the middle innings this afternoon. Drifters got on the board last inning in the fourth inning on an RBI single by Preston Armstrong. Hunter Meyer coming in to score after his triple. Each team with a triple in the past 2 games. The Knights come in with the second most triples in the league after the 10th triple of the season by Max Medina yesterday, his third. He currently leads the WCL in 3 baggers. And the triple for Hunter Meyer last inning for Springfield. Just a third of the season for the Drifters. So the Knights in control in game number 2 of this 3-game series. Karsten Hansen, Kaku Harrison, and Cooper Mullins due up for the Drifters. Batters 8, 9, and 1 facing off against Landon Salveson, the left-hander from the University of Utah. So here's Karsten Hansen, a ground out to first base, his first time up. Lefty on lefty battle here. Salveson ready. His first pitch of the 5th inning is a fastball that's inside to Hansen, 1-0. So Hansen heading off to Marshall University after wrapping up his junior college career at Lower Columbia. Coming in, batting below the Mendoza line at 182, takes the pitch inside. Now 2 balls and no strikes. Salveson, after 12 appearances out of the bullpen at Utah, spending a summer in Corvallis. Transfer to Utah from Utah State Eastern, the junior college, out in, you guessed it, Eastern Utah. Pitch in for a strike, 2-1 to Hansen. He's going a long ways away from home to go play at Marshall. He's originally from Olympia, Washington, going all the way from the West Coast to West Virginia. Pitch inside, 3 balls and a strike, and had a great season at Lower Columbia. NWAC West Position Player of the Year, first team All-NWAC player as well. And it felt like he started strong and just kept it up throughout the season. 3-1 pitch, in for a strike, 3-2. And the Red Devils ultimately ended up winning the NWAC this past season after back-to-back NWAC championships for Lynn Benton. The Red Devils reclaimed the title this year in 2026. Hansen slugs it out towards center field. It drops right in front of Medina for a base hit. So the Drifters' bats heating up after being held to just 1 hit through the first 3 innings. They now have 3 hits in the past 2 frames. And a leadoff single for Karsten Hansen. So it brings up Kaku Harrison, a strikeout swing in his first time up. Mike was talking about it the first time he came to the plate. His older brother, KJ, a starter for Oregon State back from 2014 to 2017. 3rd-round draft pick back in 2017 by the Brewers. And so Harrison familiar with this ballpark, with his older brother playing here. Pitch is outside, 1 ball and no strikes. In fact, KJ was the Pac-12 Freshman of the Year back in 2015. Actually played in the WCL for the Corvallis Knights back in 2015. So, again, familiar with this ballpark. Now he's playing with the Springfield Drifters this summer. 1-0 pitch. It's inside. It gets past Rios, and advancing over to second is Hansen. So the Drifters have a runner in scoring position once again. This time here in the top of the 5th inning, a chance to add another run after being held scoreless through the first 3 innings. Harrison this season, just 3 hits and 1 RBIs, I guess, across 17 games played and 12 starts. It's been a slow start to the season offensively for him. He's played good defense, though. 2-0 pitch is popped out of play into Urchin Alley, 2-1. And he's a guy that you can just tell, once he puts it all together, he's going to be really, really good at the next level. He's heading off to Rice University. Came out of high school from the Punahou School out in Hawaii, one of the most prestigious high schools in the country, especially on the island in Hawaii. 2-1 pitch is fouled back, 2-2. Given a 9.5 grade out of 10 by Perfect Game, so a highly sought after recruit out of Hawaii and now heading off to Rice. Going to be teammates this summer with a couple of future teammates as the Drifters have 3 Rice athletes on the roster. 2-2 pitch, popped out of play. J.J. Altabelli, an assistant coach for Rice, a former Oregon baseball player. He was coached by Dean Stiles, the pitching coach of the Springfield Drifters, and so that Oregon connection brought Harrison and a couple of other Rice players to Springfield this summer. L.J. Lehue now committed to Lamar. Ethan Atchley as well. Pitches outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. So a full count to Harrison, who has walked 10 times this year. So despite just having 3 hits, he has been patient at the plate. It's 10 walks this season. A good eye for the ball. Salveson set. Looks back towards second a couple of times. Delivers a payoff pitch that swung on and missed as Harrison goes down on strikes for the second time. First strikeout for Salveson, who came in last inning for Neil Burtis. Burtis exited after the triple and single, brought in 1 run, and ultimately Salveson came in, got a couple of flyouts and a ground out. Quick work across 3 batters, and now gets the face-off against Cooper Mullins, who's probably glad to see Burtis out of the game after he struck out twice in his first 2 plate appearances. First pitch to Mullins. It's outside, 1-0. I was talking about it earlier about how the Drifters have struggled against left-handed hitters this season, batting just .192. Mullins, though, kind of has been successful. He's been the best hitter for the Drifters against left-handers, although he hasn't necessarily proved it today. Fouls off the 1-0 pitch, and it's 1-1. In fact, coming into today, he batted .400 against lefties, going 8 for 20 against the Southpaws. Now finds himself with an even count against Salveson, another left-hander. 1 ball and a strike. Here's the pitch. Mullins cuts right through it. 1-2. Mullins, his 4th season with the Springfield Drifters. Yesterday was hitless, but did reach base safely on a walk in the 7th inning. He's reached base safely in all but 2 games this season for Springfield. This is 22nd start of the season. Fouls it away down the left field line. We'll do another 1-2 pitch. He's the Drifters' career record holder for games played at bats, hits, doubles, RBIs, and walks. Almost every single offensive category. By the time he wraps up his Springfield Drifter career, he might just be the best Drifter of all time, but also maybe one of the best West Coast League players of all time. 1-2. Fouled back. Stays alive. Not sure how many WCL players have played 4 seasons with one team, but that's exactly what Mullins has done. Played with the Drifters on a 10-day contract back in 2023, earned a full roster spot during that 2nd season of Springfield Drifter baseball, and has continued to come back each year with the Drifters. 1-2 pitch, it hits him. So the on-base streak continues for Mullins, all but 2 games this season, as he's hit by a pitch to put himself at first base. Karsten Hansen at second after his leadoff single. 1 out, top of the 5th inning, 8-1 the score. Corvallis with the lead. 2-hole hitter Tristan Jennings coming to the plate. Jennings 0 for 2, a strikeout and a lineout so far for the designated hitter out of Los Angeles Valley College, a transfer there from Hawaii Pacific, where he spent his freshman year after graduating from Granada Hills High School in Southern California. Pitch up and away, 1 ball and no strikes from Salveson. So Jennings, an opportunity for an RBI here. No RBIs this season for Springfield. A two-way player who gets his 8th start of the season. This time as a designated hitter, takes the pitch low, 2-0. And he was another player that had successful numbers against left-handers this season, coming in batting .300 for the Drifters. Limited action, but still above the Mendoza line and right at that .300 mark you want to be at. 2-0 pitch from Salveson. Chopper towards the left side, picked by Porter. He taps on 3 for 1. The throw to first base, a double play. So the Knights turn 2 to get out of the inning unscathed after 1 hit and 1 runner left stranded, no runs and no errors. Halfway through the game, 8-1 the scores. We head to the bottom of the 5th here on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
No matter what team you're on, no matter where you explore, there's a Richardson for you. We don't just give you our word, we give you our name. We started over 50 years ago as a hometown sporting goods business, with a particular devotion to America's pastime. As we grew, so did demand for our products, both on and off the field of play. Today we serve teams, brands, and businesses, and we've earned our reputation as the best. We did it through our devotion to our craft and our customers. We've built our business on the spirit of competition and the thrill of adventure, with a relentless focus on details and an enduring commitment to quality in every stitch. We've set a high bar for ourselves because you've made our team part of your team. And your team deserves the best.
Bottom of the 5th inning, the score is 8-1. Corvallis with the lead against Springfield. Max Medina, Joey Morosco, and Tate Hammond due up for the Corvallis Knights. The top of the order due up against left-hander Owen Sheen, who's currently in the transfer portal, as mentioned. Spent this past spring at Oregon State as a student after 2 seasons at Lane Community College, where he was a starting pitcher. The left-hander drops in a breaking ball for a strike to Medina, 0-1. Medina 1 for 2 today with a walk, an inside the park home run, and a flyout. Just the 4th home run of the season for Corvallis. The pitch outside, 1-1. In fact, the Knights came in with the fewest home runs in the WCL, with just 3 home runs entering today. The 2nd one of the season here at this ballpark, off the bat of Medina, and it was just a line drive out towards left field. A tough play for Zach Story, as he spoils it out towards the third base side, 1-2. Story, just the 2nd start out in left field this season for him and the Springfield Drifters. Primarily an infielder. Drifters have seen him quite a bit at third base, a couple of times at shortstop. He's primarily an infielder at UC Davis, although he did get some starts in the outfield with the Aggies, as Medina rolls it up the middle for another hit. 2nd hit of the game for Medina, 3rd time reaching base safely, as the Knights have their leadoff man aboard here in the bottom of the 5th inning. So it brings up Joey Morosco, who's a perfect 3 for 3 in terms of on-base percentage today. 2 singles, 2 runs, 3 total steals with a walk today for Morosco as he's stuffed the stat sheet. 8-1 the score, runner at first base here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Sheen, the left-hander, comes set, looks out towards first base. Preston Armstrong holding there. Delivers a pitch that's bounced towards second on 2 hops. Mullins Fields flips to Harrison for 1. The throw to first base offline. A fielder's choice play. Retires Medina at second base, but Morosco at first base safely for the 4th time today. So it brings up Tate Hammond, who came in for Maverick Russell with a 1-2 count in the 3rd inning. Russell, we hope he's okay. Mike Parker coming back up to the broadcast porch. He might have an update on Russell. But Hammond, he ended up working a walk after that 1-2 count that he entered the game with. Saw some pitches from Blake Stavros, ended up at first base. Was left stranded at second back in the third inning. Hammond takes the pitch above the letters, 1 ball and no strikes. Hammond hails from Long Beach, California, heading into his freshman season at UCLA. Pitch in from Sheen, a fastball in for a strike at the upper outer corner, 1-1. So Hammond into the game. He got the start yesterday for Corvallis at second base. Had a sacrifice bunt, a single as well to his name. 1-1 pitch, runner on the move. The throw from Lehue down towards second. A one-hopper, the tag by Harrison late. As Morosco has another steal, his 4th steal of the game. The Knights came in with just 43 steals this season, good for 11th in the WCL. But Morosco really boosting the numbers tonight. So a runner in scoring position in an 8-1 game. Corvallis shut out last inning for the 4th inning for the first time today after scoring in the first 3 frames. 2-1 pitch to Hammond, in for a strike. 2-2. Hammond, a graduate of Long Beach Poly, a historic high school out in Long Beach. Came in batting .132 on the season across 12 starts. This is the 3rd time he's come in as a pinch hitter. 2-2, whiffs at it. It's a strikeout for Sheen as he picks up his 2nd K and puts 2 outs on the board with the runner at second in this 7-run ball game. Brings up Ethan Porter. 2 RBI singles, 1 in the first, 1 in the second, and then had a sacrifice fly in the 3rd inning. In total, 3 RBIs today with 2 hits for Porter. A chance to add on to his RBI total today with number 4 waiting for him at second base in Joey Morosco. Sheen's first pitch, down and inside to Porter, 1-0. Sheen, originally from Klamath Falls, Oregon. 2 seasons at Lane Community College, where he started 18 games before coming to Oregon State and studying for 1 season, I guess 1 year. Not necessarily a season, as he didn't play baseball. 1-0 pitch, lined over towards first base, past the diving Armstrong and down the right field line. Porter's heading towards second, around third, into scores Morosco. As it's an RBI double for Ethan Porter, he has a 4 RBI day, and it's only the 5th inning. The Knights stretch their lead back to 8. It's 9-1 here in the bottom of the 8th, rather bottom of the 5th. The runner in scoring position for Corvallis after the double. So it brings up Zane Garvey. Runner at second for Garvey, who so far today has 2 pop-ups and a ground out with a single back in the second. Sheen delivers a pitch that fooled him. Check swing, he went around 0-1, according to Michael Gray, the home plate umpire. Thomas Glynn out in the field today. So Sheen gives up a run after a scoreless streak of 6 innings. In for a strike, 0-2. Drifters already utilizing 3 pitchers today. There's another pitcher warming up in the bullpen. It looks to be a left-hander. Might be Cade Schumard by the looks of it. No balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch to Garvey. In for a strike. Called strike 3. Rings up Garvey, and that'll do it for the Knights in the bottom of the 5th inning. 2 hits, 1 run, no errors defensively. As we now head to the 6th inning, 9-1 the score. It's the Knights with the lead here on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Welcome.
We're looking to switch and heard about OCCU. In 20 words, what makes OCCU different?
OCCU has free interest-earning checking, high-yield savings, and a community focus.
That's only 11.
We're the credit union with duck and beaver cards.
Sounds like OCCU has a lot to offer.
OCCU has been around for 70 years. We've learned a thing or two.
Switch to OCCU. Apply online at myoccu.org or at your local branch.
Top of the sixth inning, 9-1 the score. It's the Corvallis Knights with the lead against the Springfield Drifters. Game number 2 of this 3-game series. The Knights looking for the series win tonight. And it looks like they're going to probably hang on to this one unless something happens that's drastic for the Drifters offense. After just 1 run through the first 4 frames, they would need some help from their pitching staff across the final 4 innings as well. But it's going to have to start here against the new pitcher, Blake Sebastian, a right-hander coming into the game from the University of Nebraska, originally from Leawood, Kansas. So another Cornhusker with the Corvallis Knights. Had a couple of Huskers last season. Find some success this year with Nebraska. Ended up making the NCAA tournament as a host this year, one of the top 16 teams in the country. So Sebastian comes in for Landon Salveson, 2 innings pitched with 1 hit. No runs, no walks, and a strikeout for Salveson, the southpaw from the University of Utah. So it goes from a Big 12 pitcher to a Big 10 pitcher in Sebastian. Entering the game for now the 9th time this season. His first pitch, looked at for a strike, 0-1. Hunter Meyer at the plate. He's 2 for 2. A triple and a run scored his last time up in the 4th. Singled back in the 1st. The Drifters today have 4 hits, half of them off the bat of Hunter Meyer. And now he has his 3rd hit of the game as he hits it up the middle, hobbling a little bit as he ends up at first base. Seems to be okay. So Meyer at first base with his 3rd hit, and it brings up Preston Armstrong, who drove in Meyer back in the 4th inning, the only Drifter with an RBI today after Meyer's triple. And now Lyle coming out to talk things over with Meyer. And again, he was hobbling a little bit. It looks to be maybe the hamstring as he's holding his left hamstring. Drifters earlier this week, Evan Thomas also hobbled after picking up a double 2 days ago against Marion. And he's going to give his helmet to Aiden Gebhard. So Gebhard's going to come in and pinch run. Gebhard actually 3rd in the WCL in steals this season. Played defensively out in right field. Had 1 at bat yesterday. Came into the game for the starting right fielder and Peyton Tyner. And then after 1 at bat, he was pinch hit for again as Karsten Hansen came into the game and finished things out in right field. So Gebhard at first base, 9-1 the score. Corvallis with the lead. Top of the 6th inning. And now Preston Armstrong stands in. We'll see if Gebhard's on the move. 16 steals this season. An aggressive lead from first. And the first pitch to Armstrong bounces in. They throw back towards first base. And Rios' throw a little bit late. 1-0. Ethan Porter now at first base. Moves over from third base. Tate Hammond at second. I believe Draper over at third. Pitch is inside. Now 2 balls and no strikes. And that is the defensive alignment with Draper at third. Moving over from second with Porter going third to first after the injury to Maverick Russell. Pitch to Armstrong, grounded towards the left side, deep in the 6th hole. Severance picks it, fires across the diamond, but it's late as Armstrong has an infield single. Back-to-back hits for Meyer and Armstrong. As now the Drifters have 2 runners aboard in the top of the 6th inning. Brings up L.J. Lehue, getting to bat as left-hander for the first time today. The switch-hitting catcher. faced two left-handers in Neil Burtis and Landon Salveson in his first 2 plate appearances. Now batting is a lefty. So 2 on, nobody out in an 8-run game in the top of the 6. Blake Sebastian looks back towards second. Fires a first pitch, breaking ball inside, 1-0. Sebastian, 2-0 record this season. Across his 8 appearances, 14 1/3 innings, a 6.28 ERA. Total of 10 earned runs. Misses the mark, 2 balls and no strikes. So looking to keep the Drifters offense at bay. The right-hander dangles the arm and comes set at the waist. 2-0 pitch to Leyhew, up and away, and actually a balk was called. So a balk advances 2 runners into scoring position for Springfield. And even with the game at 8 runs right now for the Drifters, maybe pulling together some hits, could ride some momentum into the series finale tomorrow. 5:05, first pitch tomorrow for Mac's birthday party here at the ballpark. Leyhew takes inside, 3-0. I believe Mike mentioned Papa's Pizza for fans in attendance who walk through the gate when they open. Celebrate Mac and his birthday. Mac today rocking red, white, and blue pants and an American flag as a cape for Independence Day as Leyhew has work to walk. Heads to first base. Leyhew came in with the ninth most walks in the WCL, several 3-walk performances this season. And he ends up at first base to load the bases with nobody out for Zach Story. And a big hit here for Story could turn his day around after starting 0 for 2 at the plate and allowing the inside the park home run to Max Medina back in the second inning on a misplayed line drive to left field. Breaking ball from Sebastian, up and inside, 1-0. And starting to see some movement in the Corvallis bullpen, with Sebastian allowing the first 3 batters to reach here on the top of the 6. 1-0 pitch to Story. In for a strike, 1-1. Sebastian picked up the win against Edmonton, firing 1 2/3 innings scoreless baseball back on June 19th. Delivers a pitch down and away, 2-1. Redshirted this past season at Nebraska. Was ranked as the number 13th overall prospect in the state of Kansas by perfect game out of Blue Valley North High School. His 2-1 delivery, smacked up the middle by Story. That's going to score 1 as Gebhard trots home. Station to station, the other runners go. And the Drifters are on the board for the second time in this middle innings on the RBI single by Zach Story. So Armstrong goes to third, Leyhew to second. Bases still loaded. Nobody out in the top of the 6th inning. A 9-2 ball game now. And it brings up Jacob Filippondo. Springfield now up to 7 hits after just 1 hit through the first 3 frames. The offense starting to heat up as the sun has gone down. First pitch, breaking ball in for a strike on 1. The entirety of the field completely covered in shade. Beautiful sunset out in the distance here in the Mid-Valley. 0-1 pitch is outside, 1-1. A pleasant evening for baseball here in the Mid-Valley. Currently 76 degrees. Not a cloud in sight. A perfect 4th of July evening. 1 ball and a strike to Villalpando. The pitch from Sebastian is skied up towards the broadcast booth and just in front of me. Lands 2 rows in front of me as Sydney is standing, I guess now sitting 2 rows in front of us, gets the foul ball right to her. 1-2. I'd love the opportunity to catch a foul ball up here someday. Had a couple of close calls. That one of the closest we've had up to the broadcast porch, at least at my time calling games here with Mike. As Sebastian steps off the mound and gets back on. Remember one time I was calling Oregon softball. I was down at the Mary Nutter tournament in the Palm Springs area and had a foul ball come to me. A 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss by Villalpando. as he goes down on strikes. First out is recorded by Blake Sebastian. And had a foul ball come to me, hit some netting that was above me and then rolled and then tried to make the catch, popped out of my hand. Rightfully gave myself an error, but would love a second chance at catching a foul ball while broadcasting. Bases loaded, 1 out in a 7-run game. 9-2 Corvallis with the lead. A breaking ball up and away, 1-0 to Karsten Hansen, who's 1 for 2 today. A single in the 5th inning and a ground out back in the 2nd. Drifters threatening for more. An opportunity to bring the game closer as we get later in the game. 1-0 pitch to Hansen, down and inside, 2-0. So Sebastian shaking off the rust after redshirting this season in Lincoln. It always takes a little bit of time for those redshirt players here in the WCL. A little bit low, 3 balls and no strikes. And you can get some reps during practice, maybe some live ABs as a pitcher, but it's really tough to turn it into real game action success, as it now looks like Bo Kearns is coming out to have some words with his pitcher. So the Drifters and Knights playing a 3-game series this week in Corvallis. Next week, they'll head down to Springfield for 3 games on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Kind of fun. Each team has their mascot's birthday during their road trip. So the Drifters up here for Mac's birthday tomorrow. Next week, on the Saturday, it's going to be Rapid's birthday, the Springfield Drifters mascot. Also going to be a Rapid bobblehead giveaway next Saturday. So fans that are interested in making the trip down from Corvallis, you can come by and get a lovable mascot bobblehead. First 500 fans in attendance will receive a Rapid bobblehead as a party favor. 3-0 pitch in for a strike, 3-1. Rapids already turning 5. It's been fun each year. 5 years coming up here to Goss Stadium at Coleman Field and broadcasting games for the Drifters. This historic venue. 3-1 pitch down and away, and Hansen has a walk. So bases loaded walk brings in another run for Springfield, and this seems to be it for Sebastian. Only could record 1 out. The bases are still loaded, 1 out in the top of the 6th. 9-3 the score as Brook Knights comes out to take the ball from Sebastian. Pitching change upcoming. We'll let you know who the new pitcher is on the other half this time out here on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Pitcher for the Knights, Loyola Marymount, number 31, Army Silva.
So after just recording 1 out across 6 batters, Blake Sebastian, his day is done. Just the 1 out. 3 hits given up so far, 2 runs responsible to him. He is responsible for all 3 base runners as the bases are loaded with 1 out here on the top of the 6th inning. 2 walks and a strikeout for Sebastian as he got Jacob Villapando to chase a pitch down the way, his only out that he recorded. After allowing back-to-back singles to begin the inning, a walk to L.J. Lehue to load him up, an RBI single by Zach Story, the strikeout to Villapando, and then the walk to Kirsten Hansen to score a run. Hansen at first base, Story at second, and Lehue at third. New pitcher in the game for Corvallis is left-hander Ari Silva from Loyola Marymount, just graduating from McClatchy High School out in Sacramento and spending his summer with the Corvallis Knights before making his way south to Southern California to go play with the Lions. His first pitch is outside. 1 ball and no strikes to Kaku Harrison, who's 0 for 2 so far today. 2 strikeouts for Harrison. His first start here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, where his older brother KJ, who played plenty of baseball with the Oregon State Beavers, as well as with the Corvallis Knights. Silva set. Left-hander fires to the plate and gets a swing and a miss from Harrison on a pitch down and away, 1-1. Silva appearing for the 6th time this season, 5th time out of the bullpen, 10 2/3 innings with 12 hits, 8 runs and 7 earned runs allowed. 11 strikeouts, 9 walks on the season with a 5.91 ERA. 1 ball and a strike, the pitch, down and away, 2 balls and a strike to Harrison. Springfield looking for a big inning. Held scoreless through the first 3 frames. They trailed 8-0 after 3. Scored a run in the 4th inning. Brought the game within 7 before Corvallis answered with 1 run of their own. In the bottom of the 5th, 2 runs have come in the 6th inning for Springfield to make it a 6-run game. But a big hit here for Harrison could change things. Pitch low, 2-1. Already the 7th batter of the inning for Springfield. Corvallis brought 9 batters to the plate in the 1st inning, 8 batters to the plate in the 2nd inning, and their crooked number innings in the 1st and 2nd. Drifters' bullpen has done a good job over the past 3 innings, limiting the Knights to just 2 runs. 2-1, low. Or actually, it was a 3-1 pitch, is low, as now Harrison has a walk. So another run will come in on the RBI walk. Lehue goes from 3rd to home to score. Story from 2nd to 3rd, and Kirsten Hansen from 1st to 2nd. Bases still loaded for Cooper Mullins, and now a 5-run ball game. Mullins hit by a pitch his last time up, 2 strikeouts before that. The Michigan man takes the pitch low, 1-0. Mullins an all-star last season with the Springfield Drifters, hoping for a 2nd trip to the WCL All-Star Game this season. It's coming up in just a few weeks out in Victoria, British Columbia. 1-0 pitch outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Last year, the WCL All-Star Game in Bellingham, 2 seasons in Bellingham after returning in 2024. Mullins got to go to Bellingham and now hoping to go to Victoria, and he has certainly given himself a case to be reelected as a member of the Springfield Drifters to the All-Star Game as he takes the pitch down and away. 3 balls and no strikes. We'll see if he gets a green light here. 9-4 the score in the top of the 6th, the 3-0 pitch. Outside, and it's a 4-pitch walk. So another walk and another run. In to score from 3rd is Story. Advancing from 2nd to 3rd is Kirsten Hansen. Kaku Harrison from 1st to 2nd. Mullins to 1st. Bases loaded, and now the tying run coming to the plate in Tristan Jennings. 4 runs in the frame so far on just 3 hits. As the Drifters have worked 3 walks, make it 4 walks after the last one to Mullins. And now the 9th batter of the inning, and Jennings coming to the plate. And this might be it for Silva. After just 2 batters, Coach Knight is coming out. We may have yet again another pitching change. And the Knights are going to the bullpen. So 9-5 the score, bases loaded, 1 out in the top of the 6th inning. Springfield looking for more. We'll let you know who the new pitcher is on the other half of this break here on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Bases loaded, one out for the Springfield Drifters in the top of the 6th inning. 9-5 the score. The Knights with the lead. They led 9-1 entering the inning, but 4 runs have come in so far for Springfield, and they still have 2 outs to work with Tristan Jennings coming to the plate. Again, the bases loaded. Karsten Hansen at third base, Kaku Harrison at second, and Cooper Mullins at first. After just 2 batters, Ari Silva is pulled. He walked both batters he faced, and he gives it over to Mac Zawitowski, the left-hander from Eastern Illinois. Second season with the Corvallis Knights as the southpaw comes set. Jennings at the dish. He's hitless so far today. The 9th batter of the inning for Springfield grounds the ball up the middle. Picked up by Severance. He tops on 2 for 1. The throw to first base, a double play. Zawitowski only throws 1 pitch, but he gets out of the inning and the jam with just 4 runs coming in on 3 hits, 3 runners left stranded, no errors defensively. Going to the bottom of the 6th, a 4-run game. 9-5 the score. Corvallis with the lead. You're on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
With the crew, where good vibes meet good times. Retro keys, vintage vibes, unlock your next adventure. Poop's got the hookup too, belly rubs included. Space to kick back, laugh out loud, and just be. Hit the pop shop for quick snacks and take in the moment, or just chill with your pup and soak up the good life. Stay original at Hotel Corvallis.
Welcome. We're looking to switch and heard about OCCU. In 20 words, what makes OCCU different?
OCCU has free interest-earning checking, high-yield savings, and a community focus.
That's only 11.
We're the credit union with duck and beaver cards.
Sounds like OCCU has a lot to offer.
OCCU has been around for 70 years. We've learned a thing or two.
Switch to OCCU. Apply online at myoccu.org or at your local branch.
Bottom of the 6th inning, the score is 9-5. Corvallis with the lead. A new pitcher coming into the game for the Springfield Drifters in this 4-run ball game. It's the left-hander Cade Schumard, currently in the transfer portal out of New Mexico State. He comes in for Owen Sheen. Pretty good stuff from Sheen out of the bullpen. 2 innings pitched for him, 3 strikeouts, 3 hits allowed, but just 1 earned run. Kept the Knights at bay across innings 4 and 5. Only 1 run given up across those 2 innings. Allowed the offense to, make their mark in the 4th and 6th innings. And they certainly did. 5 runs on the board now for Springfield. After trailing by 8, they've made it a 4-run game, cutting the lead in half. And now Schumard looks to do the same and keep up the success that Sheen had out of the bullpen. Ryan Severance, Trey Swagger, and Ian Draper due up for the Knights. First pitch in for a strike, going 1 to Severance. Severance a perfect 3 for 3 today. 2 singles, a double, a couple of RBIs for Severance, the shortstop from UC Santa Barbara, originally from Fontana, California. Schumard delivers pitch up and away, 1 ball and 1 strike. So Schumard looking to get back on track. Had a pretty good first outing with the Springfield Drifters. Worked 2 innings of 1-run ball against the Yakima Valley Pippins on June 3rd. And since that point, it's been a little bit shaky. He induces a pop-up towards the left side in foul territory. Villapando makes the catch for out number 1. But since that point, Schumard has struggled with the command. 16 walks this season, does have 10 strikeouts, but 21 earned runs across 7 2/3 innings, a 0-2 record, 9 appearances, 24.65 ERA this season for Schumard. Does have elite stuff, it's just been the command that he's been working on this summer. And you can see it there. Misses with the breaking ball behind the back of Trey Swagger, 1-0. He has elite stuff. It breaks almost 2 feet. It's just trying to locate that breaking ball. He has quite the cutter with that 2 feet of break and a complimentary fastball that gets into the low 90s. There's the fastball, and this time it misses the zone. 2 balls and no strikes to Swaggart. Swaggart today, a walk back in the first inning, a sacrifice fly in the second, and a strikeout looking in the fourth. Beautiful sunset out in the distance here in Corvallis. The 2-0 pitch from Schumard. Fastball up and away. 3 balls and no strikes to Swaggart. Our friends, the Wasilla Road Warriors, making some noise. It's been a while since they've gotten to give their walk chant. See if they get to do so here. A 3-0 outside. What a chant. I think what it is what's the best kind of bases? And then the entire group screams, free bases. And then they scream, thank you, come again. As Swaggart has worked himself a walk for the second time tonight, and Dean Stiles is out to have a mound meeting with Cade Schumart. Stiles in a full grout fit right now, has the gray hoodie today. Typically a black hoodie for Stiles, but, you know, kind of going with the theme of the uniforms today for Springfield. The gray caps, gray jerseys, and gray bottoms. In fact, Springfield debuted these jerseys here in Corvallis 5 years ago yesterday. Drifters made their first trip to Corvallis 5 years ago. I remember it. It was a 14-2 loss for the Drifters here at this ballpark. But the Drifters ended up winning that series during the 23 and 22 seasons. It was a home, and home between these two clubs, meaning that the Drifters played one home game in Springfield, then they would play a road game up here in Corvallis, and then come home to Springfield. During that 2022 season, the Drifters ended up winning both games at home in that home, and home series. They have yet to win a game at home since against the Corvallis Knights. In fact, coming into today, Drifters 7-24 all-time against Corvallis, 2-10 at home. Both those wins, the first 2 games they faced off against the Corvallis Knights in Springfield. They've lost the last 10 at Hamlin Sports Complex against Corvallis. After the mound meeting, Schumar delivers a first pitch strike to Ian Draper. Comes in, 1 for 3, an RBI single back in the first. 0-1 downstairs, 1 ball and a strike. Drifters have actually been more successful up here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field than at home against the Knights. 5-14 all-time against Corvallis on the road here at this ballpark. Several one-run games, several extra inning games that did not go Springfield's way. And although we had a little bit of a blowout early on, a 4-run game, deeper into this game here in the 6th. 2 balls and a strike. Ian Draper. Schumart's 2-1 pitch. A bouncing ball to the left side. Villapando fields, goes to 2, and it's over the head of Mullins and into right field. Could have been a around the horn double play instead. It's a ball thrown into right field that allows Swaggart to reach second base safely. And it goes down, I believe, as an error. So Draper reaches on the fielder's choice play, and it brings up Xavier Rios. So a tough break for Schumart, who got the ground ball towards third. He's hoping to replicate it here. The 9-hole hitter Rios at the plate. First pitch, Rios takes it in the dirt, 1-0. June 30th was the last time Springfield won at home against the Corvallis Knights back in that 2022 season. So it's been over 4 years since the Drifters last won at home. They'll have an opportunity next weekend to win a game at home against the Knights with games on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Pitch up and away, 2-0. Drifters have now lost 4 straight games against the Knights, with 3 straight losses at home last season and then the loss yesterday. 2 balls and no strikes to Rios. Catcher from Castro Valley, California. 2-0 pitch to him. In for a strike, 2-1. Castro Valley actually holds a special place in my heart. remember as a kid going to Raiders games up in the Bay Area. Originally, I was from Southern California area, but we had season tickets to the Raiders. And in Castro Valley, there's an ice cream shop there called Knudsen's, and I remember going there a lot as a kid. And one of the cool things about Knudsen's is the 2-1 pitch hits Rios, and he'll head to first base, is they had baseball cards for sale at a kind of like an exchange machine. I don't know how to describe it. Like, you put a quarter in and then you get like a baseball card pack. And I remember vividly going to Knudsen's and putting my coin in the machine and getting a pack and pulling out a Whitey Ford Yankees card from 1950. It was the coolest thing ever for me as a kid. And honestly, that place certainly added a ton of cards to my baseball card collection, which I still have today. In fact, I looked at my baseball card collection before the start of the season. The Springfield Drifters having a baseball card night in August, and wanted to pull out my collection to see what kind of cards I had. I found that Whitey Ford card in my collection. Full binder. And honestly, since pulling that out, I've gotten more into collecting baseball cards once again. It is a fun hobby. So Rios at first base after the hit by pitch play. And almost another hit by pitch as Medina has to duck down 1-0. Swaggart at third, Draper at second, and Rios at first base. 9-5 the score. Corvallis with the lead in the bottom of the sixth inning. 1-0 pitch from Schumard inside. It gets past Lehue. Sprinting in from third is Swaggart. And the Knights stretch the lead back to 5. It's 10-5. Right-hander warming up in the bullpen for the Drifters as Draper advances to third and Rios to second. 2 in scoring position with 1 out. Decent crowd tonight on this 4th of July holiday. Yesterday, 3,112 fans in attendance. That was the official attendance number yesterday. Schumard's 2-0 pitch. In for a strike. 2-1 to Max Medina. 2 hits today, a single, an inside the park home run. Walked back in the first, a fly out in the third. 2-1. In for a strike, 2-2. So the Knights started the second half of the season yesterday, the Drifters as well. So Corvallis 1-0 to start the second half of the season after finishing the first half 13-14 below 500. A rarity here in Corvallis. 2-2 is chopped towards first base side, and it is foul. Medina lucky, he stays alive. Corvallis consistently making the postseason, if not winning the WCL championship. 10 titles under head coach Rook Knight. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Medina with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th with 2 runners in scoring position. The pitch from Schumard. Lifted out towards left center field. Ranging over is Gebhardt, who makes the catch and fires it home. Tagging at third base and in to score is Draper. A sacrifice fly by Max Medina makes it a 6-run game. It's 11-5. So Gebhardt in at center field after entering as a pinch runner for Hunter Meyer. Defensively, Karsten Hansen out in right field. Zach Story still out in left. Jacob Villapando at third base. Kaku Harrison at shortstop. Gilbert Mullins at second with Preston Armstrong at first and LJ Lehue behind the plate. So Schumard looking to get through the inning with just 2 runs given up. Runner at second, 2 outs for the 2-hole hitter, Joey Morasco. First pitch misses the mark to Morasco. 1-0. Fireworks beginning off in the distance. You can hear the ricochet of the ripples echoing throughout the campus here at Oregon State. 2 singles, a walk, and a fielder's choice play from Morasco has reached base safely in all 4 plate appearances. Takes a pitch outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Also has 4 steals today, 1 in the first, 2 in the second, and 1 in the 5th. It's been impressive. Schumard set, 2 balls and no strikes. Here's the pitch from the southpaw. It's fouled back, 2-1. Schumard couldn't get through a full inning in his last 2 appearances. So looking to close the door and pick up his 3rd and final out here in the 6th. The lefty glares into Lehue. Gets ready. His 2-1 delivery. Hits him. Another hit by pitch. And again, our pals from Wasilla with another emphatic chant as they encourage John Morosco as he kind of limps down to first base. Second hit by pitch of the inning allowed by Schumard. The Drifters come in with the most hit by pitches allowed by any WCL pitching staff this season. And certainly picked up as of late a ton of hit by pitches in the Portland Pickles series a couple of series ago. And some more here in the 6th inning. So 2 runners aboard, 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning. 2 runs in so far for Corvallis. 11-5 the score. The Knights with the lead here on this Independence Day, celebrating America 250 in the Mid-Valley. Tate Hammond to the plate, came in for Maverick Russell back in the 3rd inning. So far, a walk and a strikeout for Hammond. Takes a pitch down and away, 1 ball and no strikes. Mike Parker will have the innings 7, 8, and 9 coming up after the conclusion of this bottom of the 6th inning. He'll take you the rest of the way. Schumard's 1-0. Outside, 2-0. He's found his way back to the broadcast booth. Any update on Maverick Russell? No update so far. They don't have update, he asked. So, hoping for the best for him after he exited the game mid at bat. 2-0 pitch. Upstairs, 3-0. Looks like the right-hander that was warming up for Springfield is ready. Awaiting in the bullpen out in the distance. We'll see how long the leash is for Schumard. His 3-0 offering. Fastball in for a strike, 3-1. And again for Schumard, the fastball has been electric. Now 91, 92, he's sitting consistently. It's just been the command that he struggled with this season. In the transfer portal after 2 seasons at New Mexico State, where he made 19 appearances across 2 springs. And misses the mark low again. And it's another walk. Second walk of the inning. And the bases are now loaded. So bases loaded, 2 outs. And it brings up Ethan Porter. 4 RBIs today for Ethan Porter. RBI single back in the 1st. 2nd, a sacrifice fly in the 3rd. And an RBI double in the 5th. Could add on to a historic day at the plate for Porter as he takes the first pitch for a strike, 0-1. Pretty impressive to have 4 RBIs on 3 hits through the first 5 innings. Now his 5th plate appearance in 6 innings. It's been an offensive explosion for Corvallis, a team that had struggled to score runs, as he belts the ball deep out towards center field. Gebhardt to the track, watches it go off the wall. That'll score all 3 runs as Porter delivers again. A 7 RBI day for Ethan Porter. And the Knights have blown the game back open. Remarkable day offensively for Corvallis. 14-5, the lead now 9 for Corvallis after Springfield scored 4 runs in the top of the 6th inning. The Knights answer with 5 of their own and have their largest lead of the night. 9th batter of the inning, Zane Garvey to the plate. Struck out looking his last time up last inning to end the inning. And now takes the first pitch he sees from Schumard inside, 1-0. And you got to think about that play to Jacob Villapando. To Ian Draper, we chopped it towards 3rd, an opportunity for the Drifters to turn 2 and get out of the inning. Villapando's throw went into right field and the inning was extended. And it just has continued to snowball from there. Pitch outside, 2-0. And as mentioned earlier, Springfield's defense has certainly helped them this season. Came in with the 4th best fielding percentage and the 3rd fewest errors in the league. But today, not necessarily perfect in the 6th. 2-0 pitch to Garvey. Fastball in for a strike, and the letters 2-1. Garvey today 1 for 4. A single and a run scored back in the second. Every single Corvallis night batter has reached base safely today. Almost everyone with a hit. 2-1 delivery, up and away, 3-1. 14 total hits, 14 runs for Corvallis. Entering yesterday, the Knights batting just .237 as a team, 12th in the WCL. They rose it to .240 to move into 10th in the league. And after 14 hits today, you got to think that the average is going to go higher, and they might move into the top half of the WCL. Pitch inside, another walk. Advancing over towards third is Porter. And now runners on the corners. Our pals from Wasilla are having a field day today here in the 6th inning. So another free pass, another free 90. And the Knights have batted through the order as Ryan Severns will come to the plate. 3 for 4, 2 singles, 2 RBIs with a double. 9-run lead for Corvallis in the bottom of the 6th. 14-5 the score. Cade Schumard misses high. 1 ball and no strikes, 2 Severns, who started this inning with a fly out to left field. So Schumard started his day with an out. Since that point, a walk, a fielder's choice play. Hit by pitch, a sac fly, another hit by pitch, a walk, a 3 RBI double, and then another walk. Pitch is high. 2 balls and no strikes to Severns. So a tough inning out of the bullpen for Schumard. 2 balls and no strikes. Here's the pitch. In for a strike, 2-1. And you got to think for Coach Lyle and the Springfield Drifters in this situation, you've already utilized 4 pitchers. It's now a 9-run game late in the game. Might not want to pull Schumard at this point and kind of concede the loss. Try to preserve the pitching for tomorrow and the rest of this next week. 3 balls and a strike to Severns as Schumard misses high once again. Schumard ready with the 3-1. Here it is. Looked at for a strike. 3-2. So Schumard a strike away from getting out of the inning with just the 5 runs given up. The lefty looks in to Lehue. Nods his head and comes set. He gets the grip and lets her rip. The payoff pitch fouled away. Severns stays alive. And again, Schumard at the beginning of the year, a big strikeout pitcher. A couple of 3 strikeout performances. 10 strikeouts total on the season. But since early June, has really struggled with the command. Gonna get a strikeout here. Payoff pitch. Popped up, foul territory, first base side. Armstrong runs out of real estate. Into the seats it goes, and Severns stays alive. So Severns battling at the dish. Chance for more in the 6th inning for Corvallis. Schumard shakes twice. Finally finds a pitch he wants. His payoff pitch, fouled away. Another foul off for Severns. So the Drifters coming off a sweep against Marion, losing yesterday 3-0. Offense started slow, picked up in the middle innings with 5 runs scored, but the pitching hasn't put it together today. Payoff pitch. Outside and another walk. Our friends from Wasilla just said our voices are getting tired. They've had to do that chant quite a bit this inning. It's the 6th free pass of the inning on walks and hit by pitches combined. Trey Swaggart to the plate. He's walked twice today, has a sacrifice fly and a strikeout looking. First pitch to him, up and inside. 1-0. He was the first walk of the inning. Now batting for the 2nd time in this 6th inning. So here's the first walk and the first run to come in. First of 5 with the bases loaded, 2 outs. Swaggart at the plate. Two-way player from the University of Portland takes the pitch outside, 2-0. Swaggart, one of the top two-way players in the country, was named to the John Olrud Two-Way Player of the Year watch list at the University of Portland this past spring. Had a successful season with the Pilots. 2-0 up and away, 3-0. Actually got to go up to Portland and call some games for the University of Portland this spring. Was impressed with Swaggart. Followed him throughout the rest of the season. I remember there was one game in which he struck out 7 batters across 3 innings and also went 3 for 3 with 2 home runs. 3-0, in for a strike, 3-1. And having a guy like Swaggart is so important for WCL teams. Two-way players, honestly the most important players in this league. As you get a guy that can contribute offensively, but also eat up some innings defensively. 3-1 pitch is high, and it's another walk and another run. So 3 straight walks for Schumard, and see if Coach Lyle has had enough. He's making his way to the mound. So with 2 outs and the bases loaded in a 10-run ball game. Drifters will go to the bullpen once again. New pitcher coming up. We'll let you know who it is on the other half of this timeout here on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Pitcher for the Drifters, number 55, Andrew Miller. Batting for the Knights, the third baseman from the University of Portland, number 11, Ian Draper.
15-5 the score. Corvallis with the lead in the bottom of the 6th inning, and a chance for more. Bases loaded, 2 outs, as the new pitcher into the game is Drew Miller, the right-hander who just graduated from George Fox, currently in the portal as a graduate transfer after getting his degree at George Fox. Delivers a first pitch down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Ian Draper. Trey Swaggart at first base, Ryan Severns at second, and Zane Garvey at third. The Knights have already scored 6 runs in the 6th inning, answering after 4 runs in the top of the 6th inning from Springfield. Miller's pitch is in for a strike, 1-1. Gage Schumard, 2/3 of an inning pitch with 1 hit, 6 runs, all of them unearned with 5 walks and no strikeouts. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the pitch from Miller. Ground ball up the middle, played by Mullins. He flips it to second and gets the final out there. So the Knights end up scoring a total of 6 runs. They leave 3 stranded, and only 1 hit in the inning. It was the bases clearing double by Ethan Porter as he's up to 7 RBIs. So 6 runs on 1 hit, 3 left stranded, and 1 error defensively for Springfield. We head to the 7th, 15-5 the score. Mike Parker will take you the rest of the way here on the Knights live stream and show radio.
At Eugene Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
Welcome. We're looking to switch and heard about OCCU. In 20 words, what makes OCCU different?
OCCU has free interest earning checking, high yield savings, and a community focus.
That's only 11.
We're the credit union with duck and beaver cards.
Sounds like OCCU has a lot to offer.
OCCU has been around for 70 years. We've learned a thing or two.
Switch to OCCU. Apply online at myoccu.org or at your local branch.
We're in the top of the 7th inning. Mike Parker, the voice of the Corvallis Knights, will take you the rest of the way.
I'm sort of glad you had those middle innings. they were a bit of an ordeal, and
yeah.
you did a nice job to get through that last inning. That 6 runs with 1 hit. I mean, that tells you the whole story right there. And it's tough to watch, and you don't like to see that. I mean, I'm from a Knights perspective, glad to be up big, glad to take advantage as the Wasilla Road Warriors out of Wasilla, Alaska keep chanting, "What's the best kind of bases?" One person yells, they all answer together, "Free bases, thank you, come again." We heard that chant too many times in this past half inning from your perspective, and even in the long run from the Knights' perspective too. But you did a great job to get us through it. Thank you for getting it here to the 7th inning. Night. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Absolutely. Thank you again, Mike.
Knight Uretsky, outstanding young man, great broadcast talent. Great to have him with us here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field through 6 innings. The Knights 15 runs, 14 hits, 7 RBIs for Ethan Porter, no errors. The Drifters 5 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error. We go to the 7th. Knights left-hander Max Zaz-Toski, who was brilliant last inning, to come in, throw 1 pitch after the Knights pitchers had engaged in a few too many free passes. Zaz-Toski kind of put a stop to that by inducing an inning-ending double play ball. He goes to work here in the top of the 7th inning with a 15-5 lead. And who is the hitter right now, Knight? Okay, Aiden Gebhardt, and he came into the ball game back in the 6th inning as a pinch runner last inning. So now he's getting a chance to hit. The 1-2 pitch to Aiden in his first at-bat here in the 7th inning is high for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gebhardt singled to center field in the 6th. The 2-2 pitch slashed foul above third base coach Dominic Graziano, who enjoyed some company last inning. 4 runs for the Drifters and actually got a little pressure building for Knights fans and in the dugout with the rally. Pulled within 9-5, but then enters Zaz-Toski, and Mac got the Knights out of trouble. Ground ball into shallow right, bad hop, and we'll see how Brooks Hatch scores it. It was a bad hop that kind of ate up Tate Hammond in shallow right where he was positioned. And I think it's going to go as a error on Hammond. Tough error, no doubt, because it did take a bad hop. I was a little surprised. I thought that Tate kind of gave up on it fairly quickly after the ball rode up his forearm on the bad hop. He didn't scramble to try to make a play and hurry a throw to first. I guess he figured no shot at it and no need to hurry a throw and perhaps throw it away and compound the matter. But it is an error on Tate. to open the top of the 7th. Preston Armstrong, the batter, takes a first pitch strike from Max Zostowski. 15-5 Knights in the 7th. Mac back to the plate. Off speed, down and in. 1 ball and 1 strike to Preston Armstrong. 15-5 Knights. Top of the 7th. Some fireworks shooting off we can see in the distance as we look southeast on this 4th of July 2026. We had our huge fireworks event here last night. Fireworks and baseball go together. And one of the more memorable fireworks displays, July 4th, 1985. The fireworks actually started on July 5th, and therein is the tale that I'm about to share. The 1-2 pitch coming from Max Zostowski to Preston Armstrong, foul back. The count 1-2, 15-5 Knights in the 7th. July 4th, 1985, the New York Mets at Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium against the Atlanta Braves. Fireworks following the game. Well, the game didn't cooperate. It went 19 innings. Out of the stretch works Max Zostowski, delivers, swung out and missed. Strike 3 to get the first out in the top of the 7th inning. 1 away, and L.J. Lehue will be the batter. So, in that ball game with the fireworks coming at Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium after the game, in the 18th inning, when it appeared the game would finally end, in the 18th, Tom Gorman, the pride of Wilsonville, an Oregonian. Tom Gorman went to Gonzaga, but he grew up in Portland. Here's a chopper back of third, backhanded by Ian Draper, goes to second for 1, on to first. Double play, nicely turned by Tate Hammond. And Ian Draper, who had, it seemed, a bit of a physical issue at the end of the Knights at bat in the 6th inning, is obviously hale and healthy as he does a great job to start an around-the-horn double play, 5-4-3. Zostowski faces the minimum. We go to the bottom of the 7th on this 4th of July night. I will finish the amazing tale of July 4th, 1985 in Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium, and we'll have a batter coming up for the Knights in the bottom of the 7th inning that's connected in a real way to the story, so don't go away. We go to the bottom of the 7th, the Knights 15 and the Drifters 5, back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Rolling with the crew, where good vibes meet good times. Retro keys, vintage vibes, unlock your next adventure. Poop's got the hookup too, belly rubs included. Space to kick back, laugh out loud, and just be. Hit the pop shop for quick snacks and take in the moment, or just chill with your pup and soak up the good life. Stay original at Hotel Corvallis.
Welcome. We're looking to switch and heard about OCCU. In 20 words, what makes OCCU different?
OCCU has free interest-earning checking, high-yield savings, and a community focus.
That's only 11.
We're the credit union with duck and beaver cards.
Sounds like OCCU has a lot to offer.
OCCU has been around for 70 years. We've learned a thing or two.
Switch to OCCU. Apply online at myoccu.org or at your local branch.
Are we ready? Bottom of the 7th inning, the Knights 15, Springfield 5. 15 runs and 14 hits for the Knights. Xavier Rios will lead things off, then back to the top of the order, Max Medina, followed by Joey Marasco. And I don't know if we have an emergency pitcher in because the guy, quite honestly, doesn't look pitcherish. So I'm going to take a look and see if indeed Jeff Lyle has gone to a guy just to kind of try to thumb it in there and get the last outs of the game. Because I'm sorry, but you understand what I'm saying. The guy doesn't look like he's really pitching. And I hate, no disrespect, but the Drifters have Ryland Detzler, who is a utility player, and he's in there pitching and working on Rios, but he's just kind of coming to a stretch and trying to fill up the zone. And to his credit, he's 2 balls and 2 strikes now on Rios, and then he hits Rios on the top of the helmet. Xavier was hit in his last plate appearance, and he gets hit again. Are you saying to be quiet? Why?
Now batting the center fielder from
Huh?
Corvallis, number 2, Max.
I disagree. I think it's fun. It'll be the only night it's happened ever. It'll happen one night tonight and never again. These kids are from Wasilla, Alaska. So I think it's great, actually. The first pitch, Xavier Rios aboard, and Max Medina, the batter. Medina takes ball 1 from Detzler, who throws, and I mean throws it in there for a strike, and the count 1-1. Detzler is kind of charged. He's got a tough job. An emergency pitcher, it appears to me. I'm going to look and see if there's any stats. Knight is no longer here to confirm my theory that this is not a regular pitcher for the Drifters. Medina hits a ground ball to second, go to second for 1 from Cooper Mullins to Kahaku Harrison. The throw to first not in time. And Max Medina is aboard on the fielder's choice, 4-6. 1 away in the bottom of the 7th. The Knights leading 15-5, and here comes Joey Marasco. Joey's grandfather was involved in that July 4th, 1985 game at Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium that went 19 innings. It would have been over in the 18th, but Tom Gorman gave up the one and only home run in Rick Camp's career in the bottom of the 18th inning to extend the game even further. The game eventually ended at 3:55 in the morning after 19 innings, and at 4:01 a.m. in the city of Atlanta at Fulton County, they shot the fireworks off anyway at 4:01 in the morning. People are calling the police, emergency, there's a war, what's going on? They shot the fireworks off at Fulton County Stadium at 4:01 in the morning. Who made that decision? Who allowed that to happen? How in the world could it happen? They allowed it. And you had people panicking, almost War of the Worlds panicking, revisiting Orson Welles. The 2-2 pitch, missing to Marasco inside ball 3. Joey Marasco's grandfather, Steve Zabriskie, working with Tim McCarver on the Mets telecast back to New York that night in that incredible, legendary 19-inning Mets-Braves game with fireworks going off at 4:01 a.m. on the 5th of July. Joey Marasco flies out. He says he's pretty close to his grandfather, Steve Zabriskie, a longtime and distinguished major league broadcaster, and with the Mets through some amazing years, 83 through 89, working alongside the legendary Tim McCarver. Steve is going to be coming out to see his grandson play a ball game here, and really looking forward to meeting him and perhaps even induce him to join me on the air for a bit. It would be an honor, but he said McCarver had ordered a cab, and they talked about this on the air. The pitch on the way missing from the emergency pitcher, Ryland Detzler, to Tate Hammond, ball 2, 2-0. 15-5 Knights in the bottom of the 7th. The 2-0 pitch hits Tate Hammond. Tate kind of flips the bat away. And you've got Detzler struggling to just try to get the outs. Now, what has been, generally speaking, well received, not by everybody, I understand. There's at least one fan who's asking the youngsters to quiet down. They have been very audible in the chant of what's the best kind of bases? Free bases. Thank you. Come again. Detzler throws one to the backstop, and the Knights do not even advance. And that, in a sense, tells all. There's a pitch to the backstop, and the Knights runners hold. Max Medina at second, and Tate Hammond at first. 2 outs In the bottom of the 7th, Detzler comes up and in, ball 3. And I'm trying to see if he's had any previous pitching experience with the Drifters this year. And the answer is no. Indeed, an emergency pitcher being used in Ryan Detzler just to try to help get these final outs in a game that's well out of hand. 15-5 Knights in the 7th. Ethan Porter at the plate. Ethan has had one of the best games in the history of the Corvallis Knights, and he has a chance for another run batted in here, although it's going to take quite a hit for Brook to give him the windmill and give Medina a chance to score if Porter gets a hit. The 3-1 pitch is outside, ball 4. The Wasilla Road Warriors again engage in the what's the best kind of bases? One person asks. The rest of the team responds, free bases. And then they all together say, thank you, come again. Now, the story on that is, and I went over and sat with the coaches, both of their coaches are local guys. With the bases loaded and 2 down, Zane Garvey steps in and takes a strike. Ken Ottinger is the head coach. Ken went to Thurston High School. A looping base hit into left. Down the line to score is Max Medina. And the Knights lead it 16-5, pardon me, on a looping single to left for Zane Garvey. The bases remain loaded. Brook Knight putting a stop sign up at third base on Tate Hammond. Ethan Porter to second, Zane Garvey at first. Ryan Severn's the batter. First ball swinging, slashes one foul down the right field side. 0-1 the count. Ken Ottinger went to Thurston. He played baseball, did Coach Ottinger, with Brook Knight at Western Oregon, and he's got a team leading the chance over here. Part of the Mickey Riley Star Spangled Baseball Tournament at Hanson Stadium at Taylor Field. Ken Ottinger's pitching coach is also here, Dan Hinchberger, who graduated from Philomath High School and played with Chris Kunda at Philomath, and was part of the 2003 Richie's Market American Legion World Series. So the 2 local coaches bringing the Wasilla Road Warriors American Legion baseball team from Wasilla, Alaska, about 25, 30 miles north of Anchorage. A rare trip to the mainland. They play most of their summer games in the state of Alaska. They raise some $25,000 through various sales and auctions and fundraising events, and put the money together, and the whole team is here, and they've been a great presence tonight here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. The Wasilla Road Warriors, with the chants that everybody's been kind of, what are they saying? What's going on? They stole the chant. They kind of Milton Berled it. Milton was the great comic who stole everything from others. They stole the chant from an American Legion team in Napoleon, Ohio, that made a trip out for a summer tournament to Alaska, an American Legion team. Napoleon, Ohio's players engaged in that. What's the best kind of bases? Free bases. Thank you, come again. The Wasilla players and coaches liked it even before Ken Ottinger got there. So they've been at it for 13 years in Wasilla with that chant. They brought it to Goss Stadium at Coleman Field tonight, and it seems to have helped the Knights. We go to the 8th. We'll be back in 1 minute, back in 60. The Knights leading 16-5 as we go to the 8th. Back in a minute on Joe Radio.
Leading off for the Drifters, the left fielder, number 11, Zach Story.
Zach Story. So Story grounded out. Now it's Pena. Sonny Pena, the batter. Sonny's been playing out in left field for the first time in his life. Ryan Detzler coming in as an emergency pitcher did a nice job. All things considered, just one run for the Knights last inning. And now the Knights leading 16-5 in the eighth. Zach Story, a ground ball to short. Ryan Severns over to first for the out. One away. And Pena swings and misses. Sonny, playing in left field, just made a nice catch on the fly ball off the bat of Joey Morosco last inning. And that brought perhaps the loudest of cheers from Drifters fans for a guy that isn't accustomed to playing out there. Sonny Pena now gets an at-bat. The strike one pitch misses. And fireworks are being fired off all over, but it is the 4th of July, not the 5th. It's not 4 in the morning. The pitch to Pena hit foul over my head. So Steve Zabriskie and Tim McCarver working that game together in Fulton County. Steve said that McCarver said that he ordered a cab to pick them up in the bottom of the ninth, in the ninth inning when they thought the game was going to be over. The 1-2 pitch, a ground ball to second, charged by Hammond. Nice play, picks it and throws to first. 2 down in the top of the eighth inning. And coming to the plate will be Karsten Hansen. Fireworks everywhere now as we look out beyond the center field fence and over to our right and behind us. So it is the 4th of July and the great tradition of fireworks going off. Steve, in a text to me earlier today, confirming that he's hoping to come up and see his grandson Joey play. A long time, 30-year career as a major league broadcaster, college football. I'm sure many of you have heard the name and heard his work. But Steve Zabriskie texted and said that during the broadcast, McCarver said that taxi cab has been running his meter since the bottom of the ninth inning. And they got to the 19th. And I'm sure the cabbie was happy just to be sitting outside of Fulton County watching the dollar signs. And, if you've seen the movie Airplane, you remember the cabbie sitting out front at the loading area. Well, that's kind of the image that comes to mind when I think about the cab from McCarver and Zabriskie. The 1-2 pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3 by Karsten Hansen. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Mac Zostowski. So, one more at-bat coming for the Corvallis Knights. They lead it 16-5, and again, bless the heart of young Ryan Detzler, player at Warner Pacific, kind of finishing things up in an emergency role as a pitcher, just looking for the last 3 outs of this ball game. As we go to the bottom of the 8th, 16-5 Knights back in 90 on the live stream and Joe Radio. So Ryan Detzler, part of the reason that it doesn't quite look as pitcherish as usual, Knight has helped with this. Knight Ureski confirms that he is a two-way player out of Warner Pacific. and from Sheldon High School in Eugene. And yes, he's been thrust into an emergency role in this league game with the Knights leading 16-5 in the bottom of the 8th inning. But part of the reason it looks different is because it is different. He is a practitioner of the knuckleball, a pitch that really has faded from prominence. We don't see many knuckleballers anymore. In fact, I'm just going to ask the question now, rhetorically, and Knight may know, somebody may know, are there any pitchers in the major leagues who use the knuckleball now? Knight shakes his head very aggressively no, so I trust him. The shake of the head was an aggressive shake, so I think he must be right. No balls and a strike. And I don't know who was the last major league pitcher that was primarily a knuckleballer. I don't know. It looks like a knuckleball that he's working on Carter Stewart here. Carter batting for Ian Draper. Ian appeared to have had a little bit of a physical issue himself earlier. Maverick Russell left earlier. Detzler spins, I think, another knuckleball in. I can't quite tell from the angle we have, but it probably, and it is, he's a heavy knuckleball pitcher. He threw a pitch that should have been called a strike. At this point, strikes need to be called. That pitch was close enough to be called a strike, and he should just go ahead and call it. 3-1 to Carter Stewart. Knuckleball hits Carter Stewart. And so down to first base goes Carter Stewart, pinch hitting here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Xavier Rios will be the hitter. 16-5 Knights in the bottom of the 8th. 2 on and nobody out. Xavier, who has been hit in his last 2 at-bats, swings at the first pitch from Detzler and fouls it back. No balls and a strike. The knuckleball has a great and distinguished history, of course, but I'm trying to think of who the R.A. Dickey, maybe? I mean, who was the last guy that was primarily a knuckleballer in the big leagues? Strike one pitch, a grounder to second. Mullins goes to Harrison for 1. On to first for a double play. Okay, Xavier Rios grounds into a 4-6-3 double play ball. 2 down on the play. Trey Swigert to third. Knight has looked something up, and so we'll see. Ian Wright, Stephen Wright of the Red Sox. Last true knuckleballer and a pretty good comedian, too. The pitch to Max Medina misses away, and fitting that somebody named Stephen Wright would throw a knuckleball, I guess. What were Wright's years exactly? 13 to 19, thank you. Not 13 to 19 in the Babe Ruth era, but more recently. The pitch on the way, missing inside to Max Medina. Really had the pleasure of meeting both of Max's folks tonight. Diane and Mario Medina making the trip up here. A pleasure to meet both and visit with them. That's one of the benefits, among many, of having Knight Works in middle innings, able to visit with some of the family members who come to Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. A real pleasure to meet them, as well as Tate Hammond's mom, Leslie Wilcox, making the trip up. Says she'll be back with her oldest son next week or soon to watch the Knights play. Medina hits a 2-hopper to Cooper Mullins at second. Cooper fields and throws to first. And that's that for the Knights, and that was plenty tonight. 16 runs and 16 hits. They're 3 outs away from wrapping up the ball game on this 4th of July, winning the series and giving themselves the opportunity to sweep tomorrow at 5:05. After 8, 16-6 Knights back in 90 on the live stream and Joe Radio.
At Eugene Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
Top of the ninth inning, 16-5 Knights. Max Oztowski to the plate. And the first pitch missing for ball one. 1-0 to Kahaku Harrison. The 1-0 pitch in there for a strike and the count 1-1. Fireworks everywhere. My family went to Olala Reservoir, 4 miles north of Toledo today. They'd never been there before, did some paddle boarding there, but now are trying to keep our animals, our dogs, as peaceable as possible. A high drive to deep right center field. Going back on the ball is Max Medina, still going back and reaches up to backhand it. Kahuku giving the ball a deep ride to right, but well struck, an out nevertheless on a good catch by Max Medina. 1 away in the top of the ninth inning. Cooper Mullins the batter, and I can see that the fireworks, the sales must have been pretty good here in the Mid-Valley. These last couple of weeks, you see the stands go up in the grocery store parking lots all over town, and I can see that a lot have been purchased just looking around here as we hit 9:51. Everywhere I look, to the north, south, east, and west, there are fireworks in the sky. What a great celebration for our 250th. The first pitch in there for a strike to Cooper Mullins. Oztowski back to the plate. The count 1-1. We'll kind of close where we began hours ago, referencing the Gettysburg Address and Lou Gehrig's speech being the Gettysburg Address speech of baseball, July 4th, 1939. Eloquent, poignant, beautiful. And there are some people who say it sits alongside in the traditions in our land. Lincoln's, to me, the greatest speech ever uttered on our soil in our great land, Lincoln's Gettysburg. And as we celebrate 250 years today, I'm always reminded of Lincoln's great speech and his phrase, a new birth of freedom, which after the Civil War, during it, while it was still going on at Gettysburg, made that incredible phrase, and he understood as well as anyone what that phrase meant. A ground ball to short, fielded by Ryan Severns, plays it on a hop and throws to first. 2 down in the top of the ninth inning on this 4th of July event at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. And Ryan Detzler, the batter. Ryan has done a heck of a job tonight, summoned in a tough role. He's got a bit of a smile on his face now as he steps in, the pitcher for the Drifters, who trail the night 16-5. It was a tough evening, obviously, as the scoreboard would indicate, for the variety of pitchers that Coach Lyle sent to the Hill. And in the end, he went to Detzler as kind of an emergency guy, and Detzler bringing knuckleballs, doing what he could, and actually allowed just 1 run in his 2 innings of work. Some of the best work of the night, and now he gets a chance to hit. The 1-0 pitch to Ryan is coming up from left-hander Max Oztowski, trying to end it here in the top of the ninth inning. Misses high and away, ball 2. Our Washington Park Advisors player of the game, and there go the Wasilla Road Warriors. The Wasilla Road Warriors came tonight. I think anybody who sees them ought to give them a hand as they leave the ballpark and thank them for coming. They were a great presence to have in the stands tonight. And if not necessarily everybody, I guess, loved it, but we'll never hear it again. It's a one and only thing. And I enjoyed, it was unique in what they did, and they brought energy and attention. They paid a lot of attention because they didn't miss a free pass the whole game, and there were a bunch of them. The 2-1 pitch is low, ball 3-1. So they're locked in. If they're that locked in on the chance together as a team, I bet they pay pretty good attention to detail and the coaching of Ken Ottinger and Dan Hinchberger. Ottinger out of Thurston High School, Dan Hinchberger out of Philomath High School, both teaching and coaching in Wasilla, Alaska, and brought their American Legion team to the ballpark tonight. Zostowski and the Knights a strike away from bringing this one to an end. The 3-2 pitch on the way from Mack is high for ball 4. A nice job by Ryan Detzler, both on the mound and drawing a walk with 2 outs in the top of the 9th inning. Sydney, what's up? What were you laughing at?
Their whole dugout clapped for him for
Oh,
taking the walk.
okay, yeah. The Knights dugout apparently pleased for Detzler to have to draw the walk. They gave him a big round of applause. That gives Aiden Gebhardt a chance to hit. He swings and it's a line drive to right, caught by Zane Garvey. The game is over. It was over a long time ago in a sense, but the Knights and Drifters needed to keep playing and get the 9 innings in, and they did, and there was a lot to like. It was a lot of fun here tonight, but it was also, too, in the reality, it was a tough night for the Drifters. But in the end, a nice job by their final pitcher to get the last outs and hold the Knights to 1 run in 2 innings. Some of the best pitching of the night, no doubt. So I give that young man a lot of credit for it. And in his only plate appearance tonight, he's able to draw a walk, which drew a round of applause from the Knights dugout, amongst others. But that was, quite frankly, about the only bright spot in a night where the Drifters really struggled on the hill. Ryland Detzler, though, does a nice job, a young man out of Sheldon, so good for him. The Drifters will try to regroup tomorrow and get one of the 3 games in the series. They came in having swept the Marion Berries. They played very competitively and pitched well last night on our fireworks night here, a 3-0 Knights win. All Knights tonight, and a lot of Ethan Porter. 7 RBIs on the night, our Washington Park Advisors player of the game, but there were many other contributors along the way as the Knights win big and win the series and get off to a 2-0 start in the second half of West Coast League play. So that's going to do it for tonight. The Knights and Drifters will wrap up the series tomorrow. We'll be on the air at 4:50, and I look forward to a conversation with Ethan Porter. 7 RBIs for Ethan, and the Knights win big, 16-6. So for Knight Uretsky and for our crew this evening of Everett Barty and Brian Thomas, Garrett Dworshak, this is Mike Parker thanking you for joining us. Again, our final score at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field before a crowd of 1,058 on this, our nation's 250th birthday. We hope you've had a great and wonderful Independence Day celebration with your family. I see fireworks everywhere, so the celebrations are continuing throughout our neighborhood, and I hope in yours, and hope you and yours have had a great holiday. We'll see you tomorrow, right back here at 4:50. Again, our final score, the Knights 16, Springfield 5. Thanks for joining us on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. So long, everybody.